I grab a cup with some ice in it. All right, YouTube, what's going on? It's your boy RGP Ace, and I'm back again with another video. And this time on this episode, we got a Los Angeles Clippers rebuild in the wake of them releasing CP3. Over the past couple of days, there's been a lot of media outlets, podcast outlets speaking on this, just speaking on how the Clippers can do somebody that brought their franchise back to the life. You know, a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer just released them in the middle of the night. Nobody knows what the Clippers organization is going through right now. So my job as the GM of the Los Angeles Clippers is to kind of give them that light, give them that direction. Because coming into the season, there was high hopes for this team. You know, they got Kawhi Leonard, they brought in Chris Paul, they brought in Bradley Beal. You already got Zubac coming off a historic season for him. You know, you brought in Brook Lopez, just a number of guys that you have on that team. Although this team was kind of old, it kind of reminded me personally of the Brooklyn Nets when they brought in Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Joe Johnson. A lot of media, a lot of people were saying this team was favorites in the West. And definitely, we can't forget about the person who's carrying them right now, James Harden, having a great season. And what I want to do now, I just want to go through, look at, our salary cap distribution over the next couple of years. I see we got Brook Lopez on a team-friendly deal, Bogdanovich on a team-friendly deal. We just got him from Atlanta last season. Cameron Payne on a one-year deal. So this team does have a lot of contracts that they can get off really soon. Nick Batum, he's on a 2-year deal. Really up to us if we want to bring him back. Then we got Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, 2-year player out of Missouri. Then we got Ray J. Dennis, a rookie coming out of Baylor. So really the only problem contracts that we have right now on this team is Kawhi Leonard. He's getting about $50 million a year. Then you got James Harden, but like I said earlier, James Harden is not really as much of a liability for us as people might make it seem. Although he is kind of older, he is performing at a higher level, so it should be easier to kind of dump his contract or make any moves with his contract as we see fit. And right now, I'm just kind of looking to see why Chris Dunn is starting as our shooting guard. You know, he does have a very, very high mid-range, higher than I thought he should have. I'm just going to check Bradley Beal to see where he's at. So he's about 80 and 80, so he has a better three-point shot, but Chris Dunn is blowing him out the water in that mid-range game. So I am going to leave Chris Dunn as our starting shooting guard for now. And let's look at our tradable assets. Right now, we only have 3 first-round picks, and 2 of them are non-favorable picks. So the Thunder, as everybody knows in real life, the Clippers are struggling right now, and everybody's wondering if the Thunder are going to get another top 5 pick. So the Thunder have our pick, so we definitely need to make sure we're performing this season. And then next season, we also do not have our first-round pick. We get the less favorable pick out of us and the 76ers. So this season is not really about kind of trading away assets and making moves. It's more so about just performing and just making sure we're able to do our part to stop the Thunder dynasty. And the NBA Cup MVP is De'Aaron Fox. So the Spurs have won the NBA Cup for the 2025-2026 season. And then as we take a look at the standings, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder in first place, followed by Golden State, then the Mavericks, then the Trailblazers, and then us. So right now we are the 5th ranked team in the Western Conference, so not a bad start to the season. Let's head down to the bottom of the Western Conference. I see we got the Pelicans, Jazz, Kings, and Lakers rounding out the bottom. So I might try to look at them for trade assets for their first round pick this season. And as I scroll over to the East, I see we got the Wizards at 4-28, the Heat at 8-25, and then the Hawks as the 3rd worst team in the West. So those 6 teams are going to be my teams that I'm looking for to kind of partner to see if I can get their picks in this upcoming draft. Because as we know, this upcoming draft is loaded. We got AJ DeBansa, we got Cameron Boozer, we got Darren Peterson, we got Caleb Wilson, I believe, out of North Carolina. We got Koya Pete out of Arizona. Like, this draft is loaded. So if I can get a top 5 pick, I'm definitely set for the future. And then we jump to midway through the season. We got, surprisingly, the Golden State Warriors as a top team in the West, and then the Jazz are rounding at the bottom of the West at 12-39, and then the Wizards are rounding out the bottom of the East at 8-41. And right now we're at the trade deadline, so I want to go ahead and target some of these assets that I've been scouting for all year. But as I'm looking, I don't see any. I'm not able to trade for any of these first round picks like I thought I would be able to. And as I see the Jazz have the Lakers pick in 2027, that could be interesting interesting to see, especially in real life. I'm wondering if the Lakers are going to keep LeBron heading into next season. It might be another lottery pick for the Jazz heading into next season, so they'll keep building on their young core. But as I scroll through a lot of these teams, I see a lot of these trades have already messed with pretty much the entire league. There's either a swap best or a swap worst on a lot of these first round picks for this season. So honestly, the trades for this season might just be a wash. Might just have to push really hard as far as our record this season, just to make the Thunder aren't just to make sure the Thunder aren't in a good spot. And then they'll try again next season as far as the trades are concerned. But yeah, right now I'm not seeing a lot of good trade partners. I mean, the Raptors have a pick, but they're loaded. The Nuggets have their pick, but they're loaded. Mavs, Magic, Lakers, but these teams are loaded. So I don't want to trade for their picks. I want to trade for a team that I know is going to guarantee me at least a top 10, top 5 pick. Or I might be able to get off Kawhi and send him to the Grizzlies for Ja. And then that would give me a good point guard for the future. And then I compare him with somebody I might be able to pull out of the draft this season. But who knows? It's all, up for grabs. It's all food for thought right now. Like I said, my main focus as a GM is just pushing Ty Lue to make sure he's holding this team accountable, just so the Thunder do not have another top 10 pick. I'm trying to ruin the Thunder dynasty. And as we look into contract extensions, I got John Collins. He wants a contract extension. Right now, he's sitting at 26.5 M's. He wants to go down to 8. I'm still not sure about re-signing him, just because I am trying to offload a lot of these contracts and get them off of our books, just so in a couple of years we'll be able to hit free agency really, really hard. We're in Los Angeles. I get it. We're the Clippers. We're not the Lakers, but we're still in Los Angeles. We're still in one of the bigger markets in the entire country. So a lot of top players are going to be wanting to come here. So it's very marketable. So I just want to get off a lot of these high, burnt contracts that we have on the books right now. And as we take a look at the top performers of this season, we got Ant at 31-5-5, Shea at 31-4-7. Then we got Cade Cunningham at 36-8. So a great season by those three, followed by Devin Booker, 29 points per game this season. And let's go ahead and sim to the end of this season. We got the Spurs finishing as the top seed in the Western Conference. That is a surprise right there. And the Warriors are able to finish as the third seed in the West. So I guess they were able to work out that Jonathan Kuminga, turmoil that they had in their locker room and push for a good spot this season, as they know as Steph is winding down on his last few years in the league. Then we got the Oklahoma City Thunder at second place in the Western Conference, with the Spurs finishing as 1, and then Wemby having the season that he had. It does kind of make me nervous. And then we're able to finish as 4th in the West. But yeah, Wemby, his season has me nervous. So it might have to shift from, after this season, we had a good record, so the Thunder won't get a good pick. But we might have to shift our focus from the Thunder and then look at the Spurs, because the Spurs definitely have a Michael Jordan-esque, a LeBron-esque player out there in the West as Wemby. And then the bottom 3 in the West are the Pelicans, the Lakers, and the Jazz. And the bottom 3 in the East end up being the 76ers, the Celtics, and the Wizards. But what surprised me now was the Celtics ended up having Paul George. So I need to go ahead and check the transactions and see how they got him. But they ended up trading Paul George for Anthony Simons, and then a $22.5 million trade exception. And then the Pelicans ended up getting Herbert Jones off the books for a 28 first-round pick from the Pistons. And that definitely has me weary of the Pistons if I was out east. The Pistons just added another defensive-minded player to that squad that they already have. And we know last season they put up a show. They got eliminated in the first round, but they put up a hell of a show against the New York Knicks. And yeah, I get it. They lost Tim Hardaway, and then they got Malik Beasley going through all this mess that he's going through now. But adding Herb Jones, a young, versatile wing to that mix, is very deadly for the East. And let's look at the Denver Nuggets. They finished 11th in the West. They do not make the playoffs. It looks like they had everybody healthy. Jokic had a nice season, but it just wasn't enough. I guess the Clippers kind of snuck in and stole their spot. And then that Russell Westbrook MVP kind of tainted the league. I see Jokic average a triple-double, so I'm kind of worried to see if he'll win the MVP this season. Even though they didn't make the playoffs, 2K is kind of weird with that. They don't go off record. They go kind of based on stats. And as we see, Jokic does win the MVP. He averaged 28, 12, and 10 followed by Cooper Flag winning the Rookie of the Year, Colin Sexton, six-man Wemby as the Defensive Player of the Year and also Clutch Player of the Year. Surprisingly, Coach Steve Kerr wins Coach of the Year, and then we get Executive of the Year with the 51-31 record. First team All NBA, we got Jokic, Antetokounmpo, Cunningham, Wemby, and Ant-Man, followed by Brunson, Randall, Harden, Doncic, and Adebayo on the second team. Pretty similar to how it will be in real life this season, but where is SGA? Especially with the season that he had this season with the Thunder finish second. Kind of bizarre that he's not on there. But then we look at our second team All NBA selection. We have James Harden. He finished second team. He had a 50, 40, 90 season. So an amazing season by our ace. And then to round out the third team All NBA, we got SGA, LaMelo, Trae Young, Zion, and Evan Mobley. First team All Rookie, we got Flag, Igor, Jeremiah Fears, and Harper, and Con Knoppel. So I'm excited at the end of our first season heading into the playoffs to see what we can do. We finished as a 6th seed in the West, so we will be taking on the Golden State Warriors in the first round. I don't believe they should be the 3rd seed, so we might be able to pull an upset. Right now, we're fully healthy, just missing Brook Lopez. And then in the Golden State Warriors, they have Draymond Green out with an injury, so we might be able to surprise them. And then their backup three-point assassin, Buddy Hield, is also out with an injury for Game 1. So it looks like we get the dub for Game 1, 119-97. And then I'll go ahead and sim the first-round series. We end up upsetting the Golden State Warriors 4-1. And then let's take a look at the stats from the first round. We got Brunson had 31. Edwards 31, Shea 30, Desmond Bain surprisingly at 29, 3, and 4. That's very, very surprising. And then we got Jalen Johnson 24, 8, and 8. So a great first round for Jalen Johnson. And definitely great first round for our guy Kawhi Leonard, 26, 6, 3, and 3. We did kind of let Curry get off a little bit, but his numbers were down from in the regular season, so we'll take it. It's a win. And then as we look at not Kawhi, but James Harden, he averaged 17 and 11 on 43% shooting, 30% from 3. So his numbers definitely dipped from the regular season. The biggest person that carried us in the first round was Kawhi Leonard with that 24, 6, 3, 3, and 1. And don't let it go by the wayside, but Kawhi also had a 50, 40, 90 season in the regular season. He played in 68 games. He also had a 50, 40, 100% series in the first round. So Kawhi has definitely been producing this first season for us. Definitely doing what he's not doing in real life and actually playing in games. Like, guys, if Kawhi Leonard actually played in games that the Clippers had, the Clippers team would be night and day from where they're at now. It's just, they've had so many injury issues. I don't want to say he's faking injuries. He's just been hurt a lot, but the best ability is availability, as they always say. And it just sucks that the Clippers base their whole 5-year plan off of a person that barely is able to suit up and play. Don't hold it against them because injuries happen to everybody, but it just sucks that the Clippers just have that misfortune to not be able to tell who is going to be injured, who's going to be healthy. As we go ahead and advance to the second round, we're able to take Game 1 against the defending champions, Oklahoma City Thunder. Then we're able to avoid the 3-1, 4-1 gentleman's sweep. We end up winning Game 5, going even the series at 3-2. Then we're going back to Oklahoma City. It doesn't look like we'll be able to pull it out, and we're going to get defeated in the second round to the defending champions. James Harden's stats that series was amazing. He stepped up from the first round. He averaged 35 and 10 in that second round series. Kawhi averaged 23, 5, and 5. So a great series from both of our stars, but just not enough in this loaded Western Conference. And then as we look at the playoffs so far, we got Anthony Edwards leading the way, 32, 5, and 4. Jalen Brunson, 31, 3, and 6. SGA, 34, and 5. Followed by Trae Young, 30 and 11. Trae Young is going crazy, and surprisingly, Cam Johnson, the walking bucket, man. You gotta pay him you gotta pay him what you weigh, man. He might not be able to assist, he might not be able to give you guys wins, but he's able to get buckets, man. And that's the name of the game, putting the ball through the hoop. And as you see, we got Desmond Bain and Anthony Edwards both winning MVP for their perspective to conferences in the playoffs. And then we sent through it game by game. It looks like the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to sweep the Orlando Magic, and Anthony Edwards gets his first ring, 32-5 and 6, 50% shooting, 56% shooting from the field in the playoffs. And just being fully transparent, I went ahead and gave Anthony Edwards an MVP. So I took it from Jokic. He didn't make the playoffs. There's no reason that he should be getting the MVP. I did give it to Anthony Edwards before the playoffs even started. I did the override. So we might say that Anthony Edwards might have just had the best season ever. You know, last season we had Shea. He won the MVP. He won the finals MVP. He was an all-star. He was an Olympian. He was all that. You know, but Anthony Edwards followed it up for the Americans, and he had an amazing season this season. So definitely shout out to Ant-Man. Let's take a look at the 2026 retirees. We got Klay Thompson retiring, DeAndre Jordan retiring. Steph Curry is trying to retire, but he still has money left on that contract, so not too soon. But you're not going to leave 60 M's on the table like that. If it's one thing that 2K could fix about their, dynasty mode, it would be that. Like, a player's not going to leave 60 M's on the table. Like, I'm going to sit there and fake heal for the the whole season before I leave 60 M's on the table. Like, come on. Jersey retirements, we got Derrick Rose, CP3, Klay Thompson, and Kyle Lowry all getting their jerseys retired for their respective teams. You know what teams they're getting their jerseys retired for, so I don't even got to say it. And then the lottery, we got the Celtics, 76ers, Wizards, Grizzlies, and the Jazz rounding out the top 5 picks of the 2026 draft. And it's very surprising that the Celtics get the number 1 overall pick. So I was trying to stop the Thunder from getting the number 1 overall pick, but it looks like I should have been trying to stop the Celtics. Although Danny Ainge is not there anymore, it's not Danny Ainge's team, but it's still like the Celtics find a way to put a rabbit out of the hat every single time. And we know the Celtics already have a small forward, they already have a shooting guard, they already have a power forward, so they're not going to get AJ DeBenzer, they're not going to get Cam Boozer, so they're probably going to get Darren Peterson. And as we see in the sports news mock draft, they have Darren Peterson going number 1 overall to the Boston Celtics, which is not a bad pick for them. I would be more mad if they ended up picking Cam Boozer and knowing that they already have, Jason Tatum. Like, it's not a smart move. So them getting Darren Peterson over number 1 overall, I'm not mad at it. And now that we're in the offseason, let's go ahead and try to shop some of these players. I get it. Kawhi did have an amazing season, amazing playoffs, but I am still going to try to shop him. I do believe we can move on from him and try to get one of these top 5 picks. Because like I said earlier, the top 5 is loaded. Like, you get anywhere 1 through 5, you're going to get a star on your team. So let's just try to make some moves right now. And I'll even send him number to the Boston Celtics. I don't care. I don't care if they're loaded, but, cap constraints prevent them from getting them. So he ended up sending Kawhi Leonard to the Wizards for the number 3 overall pick. And then, like we said, the number 1 overall is Darren Peterson, followed by Cam Boozer, and then we end up picking AJ DeBenza with the 3rd overall pick in the 2026 draft. And let's go ahead and get all the rookies signed out. We got James Harden declining his player option. Bradley Beal, of course, is going to accept his player option. So on the free market right now, we got James Harden, LeBron, Trae Young, Austin Reeves, Jalen Duren, Kristaps Porzingis. So Atlanta and the Lakers did not re-sign anybody. So that's interesting to see how it's going to play out for the Los Angeles Lakers going forward. I'm pretty sure if I check Trae Young, the Lakers have re-offered him, but I know for sure that the Lakers probably are not going to re-offer LeBron James just because he's probably asking for way too much. So the Lakers just lost LeBron James and Austin Reeves. I'm not sure why they didn't re-sign Austin Reeves. I'm not sure. He was killing this season. He had an amazing season. So they're just going to have Luka and Maxi Kleber. So it's kind of going to be like the Mavericks 2.0. So let's go ahead and try to re-sign James Harden back. We're going to do a $45 million deal. Actually, let's go a little bit lower. I think we can get him for like about $44 million a year. And then let's put it on the front loaded contract, 2 years. So let's see if he accepts that. And then we check LeBron James. He wants a 1-year deal. We have enough cap room to give him what he wants because we got Kawhi Leonard off of our books, so we're definitely flooded in the cap space. I just got to make sure that what I'm offering is a little bit more favorable than what he's getting offered right now from the Chicago Bulls. Because thinking about it, we can get LeBron James and pair him with AJ DeBenza, put him as a mentor for AJ DeBenza, man. Like, AJ Depends the sky will be the limit for him if we're able to pull this move off. And unfortunately, it looks like LeBron ends up signing with the Chicago Bulls for whatever reason. We gave him more money. We offered him to stay home with his family because I know that's a big thing. LeBron is a big family man, but he still ended up declining, taking less money, and going out to Chicago. So what I see now is personal. Between him and 23, it's personal. He's chasing a ghost. And right now we still got some available point guards. We got Russell Westbrook, Colin Sexton, CJ McCollum, Anthony Simons. Let's see what we can get for Anthony Simons. He wants $10 million a year. It's not too bad. He ended up getting moved to Philly in that Paul George trade, and so Philly didn't resign him back. So it looks like we can get Anthony Simons on about $10 million a year for the first year, then declining over the next 3 years. So that's a very, very team friendly deal for a young player. And we still got Lonzo Ball out there, man. Man, and little thing that people don't know about me, man. If you know me, you know me. But like Lonzo Ball, man, he was my favorite player out of that draft. At the time, I was a huge, huge Laker fan because of Kobe Bryant, and Lonzo was my top player in that draft, man. I would have took him number one overall over Tatum, over Markelle Fultz. I didn't care. I feel like he got the short end of the stick just because of some off the court issues and because of his pops and all that other stuff. And then, the injuries, of course. But, man, Lonzo Ball, man, I still hold him to the highest light. Then we're going to go ahead and bring in Andrew Wiggins just so the Thunder can't re-sign him. Yeah, I'm that petty. I don't care. Also, he's a great player. We're going to sign him on a 3-year deal, $9 million a year. And let's go ahead and look. We got Kuminga still out there, man. I don't know what I don't know what the Warriors are doing. I don't know what Steve Kerr is doing, but he didn't re-sign Kuminga. So I see we got a 23-year-old player out there willing to take 17 M's. Let's go ahead and re-sign him. Let's go ahead and get this deal done, man. Now coming into the 26-2027 season, we got Harden, we got Anthony Simons, we still got Zubac, and we got Kuminga, then we got AJ Depends, so we got Andrew Wiggins, Lonzo Ball, Bradley Beal, Cam Christie, Derrick Jones, man. This team is stacked. I'm interested in to see how this team can make a run. We got the veteran mix with the young mix. Like, it's a good mix of talent right here on the court. So it's all up to Ty Lue to see how he can coach this team up. I did my job. I got him the pieces that he needs. I got him the name that he needs. So now it's just up to him to see if we can execute. And I want to go ahead and apologize to Aaron Wiggins, not Andrew Wiggins. My bad, man. Correct myself. And then as we see coming into the season, we got James Harden, 90 overall. Anthony Simons, 79 overall. Lonzo Ball's kind of reclining a little bit. Cam Christie's kind of reclining a little bit. Got to see what we can do, especially for Cam Christie. He's still very, very young. He still has a lot of potential on him. I still want to maximize his full potential. So this season is going to kind of be about getting him into the rotation and seeing what we can do for him. And then as we come in and check the free agents, we still got Gary Payton II still out there in free agency. Let's go ahead and add him as another veteran vocal presence in the locker room, former NBA champion, just instilling our young guys, that championship DNA. And I'm very surprised, man. Like, we still got Austin Reeves, Porzingis, Hartenstein, A.N. Westbrook, Tobias Harris, Lou Dort, Colin Sexton. It's a lot of top names that's still out there in free agency. And like I said, my number one goal is stopping the Thunder dynasty. So if I can go ahead and offer Lou Dort and I can go ahead and offer Hartenstein, I'm gonna go ahead and offer him, get him off the table. But I don't think I'm gonna have enough in the bank to go ahead and get in Hartenstein. But we end up getting Gary Payton II. Lou Dort end up signing somewhere else. Hartenstein end up signing somewhere else. That's fine. I don't care. But we still need a center. And I see we still got Robert Williams III, man, a real big piece for the Celtics back in the day, man. Like the knee injuries and all that stuff, man, that kind of derailed him a little bit, but I still got faith in him, man. You're 28 years old. Although you are a little bit undersized for a center, I'm going to go ahead and pick you up. Player progression going into next year. We got Harden going down 4 points to 86. Zubac went down 1-2 at 85. Then we got Kuminga at 80. Anthony Simons at a 78. Robert Williams III at a 78 as well. And I see we got a lot of players on the decline, so I think we might have a cancer somewhere in the locker room. I have to check that out, see who's causing the disruption, and go ahead and get them moved so they can stop disrupting the team. Just so we can be focused on rebuilding this Clippers team. And if you got LeBron James out there in Chicago just vibing right now, that team is really not built for him. I guess he's just having fun. Like I said, he's just trying to destroy MJ's legacy. He's chasing ghosts out there or whatever. Okay, cool. Then we got a offer, a first round best shot from the Bucks. Let's see for Cam Christie. I don't know. Cam Christie's a 73 overall. They might see something in him that we don't see. So I'm gonna go ahead and decline that. I'm gonna keep Cam Christie. Like I don't want no parts in that. Let's see if we can move him for some more first round picks though. If you want to send some more first, then I'll move him. Like I need 2 first for Cam Christie. If you want to send 2 first, then you're not gonna get them. Year 1 with this organization and showed me how hard it is to get first round picks. So I definitely need 2 first round picks if I'm gonna send a young guy. 20. How old is he? 21 years old. Like I need 2 first for that. And right now, as we see, we're halfway through the season. We got AJ DeBansa, rookie, averaging 21, 5 and 5 and 21, 5 and 6. Kuminga followed with 20 points per game. Brad Beal kind of did take a drop off. Right now, he's at 9 points. James Harden's at 19 and 11. So kind of keeping up the pace that he did. He fell off a little bit last year, but he's still averaging assists, which is all I need him to do right now because I'm trying to focus on these young guys. I'm trying to put a big focus on AJ DeBansa, let him have a big rookie season just so it boosts his confidence, just so his potential is fully maximized. Wow, the walking bucket, man, he's averaging 31 on 30.5 minutes. Now, this guy's not doing nothing but shooting. You put him in the game, he's shooting. But, other than that, leading the league in points, we got Kay Cunningham, followed by Anthony Edwards, then Zion Williamson, Cam Thomas, SGA, Curry, Booker, LaMelo, Wemby, Luka, Jalen Johnson, Jamal Murray, Jokic, Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Julius Randle, Tyler Hero, Chet, Sengun, and Maxey. I'm really surprised on Julius. Like, he's having a really good season. He had a really good season last season as well. So, me personally, if I'm the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm looking to move Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, at least one of them, because both of them are taking away a lot of money from the Bucks, taking away from a lot of superstar power that you could bring into Minnesota to kind of pair with Anthony Edwards and McDaniels that you have out there. The Milwaukee Bucks finished 15th in the East. I see Giannis was out for the season, so that is give or take. That's granted. So the Milwaukee Bucks are poised to get a good pick to pair with Giannis. So that team might be on the come up for the next couple of seasons if they're able to draft well. And as I'm looking through the picks for this upcoming draft, I'm still seeing a little bit of the same thing I saw last season with a lot of these picks are either, already swapped, best first, best worst, or whatever. Like, it's already a lot of movement with these picks, so it's hard for me to still kind of get a good pick in this upcoming draft. But I do have Bradley Beal on the move. I am also going to try to kind of pair James Harden to get him on the move as well, just to kind of get rid of a lot of this old talent that we have and bring in more talent, more younger talent. And as I'm shopping this pick from the Pelicans, they definitely want Zubac a lot, but I don't know if I'm ready to get off of Zubac right now because I know he's still kind of a little bit on the younger side, and his contract is a little bit more team friendly than James Harden and how Kawhi's was. We already got rid of Kawhi, so that's not really a problem anymore. But Zubac is definitely performing, and what I kind of want to do, I want to keep Zubac as a center because I know he is a true center, and then I want to pair him with like a big man that's already in the league, kind of in that power forward center mold, like an Anthony Davis, a Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, a Jokic, Sengun. Like those 5, I really see them as true force, and just pair them with a 5 that's strictly in the paint. Like those are 4s that are unicorns to me. Like that. If you're asking me, I think that 4 position is gonna be the new position where you want to have a demigod, like somebody that can do it all that, and then you want to have your 5 as somebody that is strictly in the paint and get rebounds as the NBA shifts, back to that big man focus era. And right now, the Dallas Mavericks are the number 1 seed in the West, which is very surprising. Then we got Anthony Edwards on the 2nd rated Minnesota Timberwolves, averaging 33. Then we got Victor Wembanyama, Wemby, averaging 29, 13, 4, 5, and 3. He is filling up the stat sheet. Then we got Dylan Hopper, Stephon Castle starting in that rotation. Right now we got Darren Fox on the mend with an injury, followed by the number 4 Houston Rockets. We still got KD kicking. Then we got that Alperen Sengun, followed by the Denver Nuggets. Then we got the Oklahoma City Thunder right behind them. And then KD is in year 19, still averaging 20-plus points. So after this, I'm definitely going to need to check to see where he's at in the all-time rankings as far as points. I'm pretty sure he's already passed Kobe Bryant. Then you got, like I said, after the Oklahoma City Thunder, you got us, and you got the Suns, Warriors, Grizzlies. Then the bottom team in the Western Conference is the Kings. And then as we look at the Los Angeles Lakers, the 12th rated team in the West, they did lose a lot of pieces. Like right now, all they have is Luka. So literally, this team is just the Mavericks 2.0. They didn't re-sign Austin Reeves. They didn't re-sign LeBron James to a one-year deal for whatever reason. I guess the ownership group is too busy, trying to save money and not giving Luka the pieces that he needs. They think Luka can do it all, but it's not the case. And then as you look at the Boston Celtics, you got Peyton Pritchard still starting with Derek White as a 2 guard. Then we got Jaylen Brown as your 3. Then VJ Edgecombe looks like he's coming into his own. Then we got Cam Boozer starting at that power forward position. Looks like he's poised to become that, demigod 4 that we were just talking about. Paul George is on his way out, but he's still getting a lot of bank. I'm not sure why the Celtics made that move. I guess they were kind of afraid that Jason Tatum wouldn't come back, the same Jason Tatum that he was before he left. But even then, I still wouldn't have traded Anthony Simons for Paul George. I would have kept that Anthony Simons contract and got it off the book and then just went from there. But, bringing in $50 million a year for 13 points per game is not productive at all. And now we can go ahead and take a look at the Washington Wizards. As we see, we did trade Paul George there. His first season, he did regress a lot, I guess, because the Washington Wizards are more focused on developing their young core. They're not really focused on getting Kawhi Leonard the ball as much. And then as we can see, the Lakers did let go of Austin Reeves, and he ends up in Washington as well, becoming their 6th man. A bit of a surprise out of Orlando. They're the 10th seed. It looks like that Franz and Paolo duo is not working out well at all, and very surprising that the Brooklyn Nets are in the top 10. We got the Chicago Bulls running out the top 10 as well. They do have LeBron James, in his final season, first season of his career, that he's going to average less than 20 points. Right now, he's sitting at 19, 4, and 8. 50% shooting from the field, 34 from 3, and then 70 from the free throw line. But one of the biggest surprises here so far this season is the Milwaukee Bucks finishing last in the Eastern Conference, followed by the Boston Celtics. Then we got the 76ers rounding out, followed by the Pacers. And then no surprise here in the West, we have the Sacramento Kings as the 15th seed. And I'm going to go ahead and re-sign Cam Christie. He only won 4 years. Going to extend it over as many years as I can because he's only won $4 million a year, so very, very team friendly. And then he's only 21 years old, so that contract should be very, very crucial for us going forward as we try to develop and try to get more of these high-powered stars to come into Los Angeles. It should free up a lot of space on the books. Cade Cunningham finishes with 36, 6, and 10, ends up winning MVP, followed by Darren Peterson, Rookie of the Year, 22, 7, and 6 on 50% shooting, 35 from the 3. Then we got DeJounte Murray ends up winning 6th Man of the Year. So he kind of regressed into a 6-man role, followed by Wemby winning DPOY at 30 points per game. Then you got Cooper Flag as our most improved player. Side note, I am not a fan of number 1 overall picks winning most improved player. I get it. He did take a big jump, but it's still, that's what's expected as a number 1 overall pick. We got Curry winning clutch player of the year. First team all NBA, Cade Cunningham, Wemby, Jokic, Luka, and Jalen Johnson. Very surprising. Very, very surprising. The second team, Alperen Sengun, Cooper Flag, SGA, Anthony Edwards, and LaMelo Ball, Darren Peterson, Steph Curry, Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, and AJ DeBance to round out our third team All-NBA selections. And it looks like AJ is on a very good track to start off his career. I don't know how many players have made an All-NBA team in their rookie season, but very, very surprising here. Same with Darren Peterson as well. You got a 3-headed monster out there in Boston cooking up with him, JB, and JT. We got all defensive teams rounding out. Then let's take a look at our all-rookie teams. We got Cameron Boozer ended up averaging 17 points in his rookie season. Caleb Williams averaged 12 and 5 in his rookie season for the Denver Nuggets. So they do look like they kind of have their future set up in case Jokic does want to leave. Because I know it's going to get tight for them if they don't continue to win, if they don't bring in more pieces around Jokic. And right now we got our 4-5 matchup is us against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the team that our mindset is built around two takedowns. So let's see how we fare up against them. We do end up beating them 4-2, advancing to the conference semifinals against Anthony Davis, Kawhi Irving, and Cooper Flag. And it looks like to start off this series, we got Anthony Simons going down with an injury. Take a look at the stats from the first round. Cade Cunningham leading in points, followed by Ant-Man, Jokic, SGA, Cooper Flag, Wemby. Jaden Ivey, surprisingly, is on there. And then take a look at our team specifically. James Harden averaged 24, 5, and 8, followed by AJ 21, 6, and 7. 2 steals, 2 blocks, shooting 48% from the field. And right now, just taking a look at our lineup. This is the first that we've made it, so I just want to make sure I'm doing what I can as a GM just to make sure our lineup, we're putting the best 5 or the best rotation out on the floor as we progress into the playoffs. And as you see, I got Lonzo Ball. I'm going to take his minutes away. I'm going to kind of shrink the rotation. That's what usually happens when you hit the playoffs. I still got Cam Christie starting with James Harden, AJ DeBanza, Jonathan Kuminga, and Zubac rounding off our starting 5. And if we take a look at Cam Christie, looks like he's getting his first starts of his career in the playoffs this year. And not a bad season for Anthony Simons. He had 18. He did only start 9 games, so he was our 6th man of the year. And then Aaron Wiggins, the guy that we took away from the Oklahoma City Thunder, he played in all 82 games, ended up starting in 72 games for us this season. In our bench rounding out the first round is going to be Robert Williams, Anthony Simons, Wiggins, and then Derrick Jones Jr. And it looks like game 1, we are going to lose to the Dallas Mavericks. They do have the home court advantage, so it's not really that surprising. But let's go ahead and stop the sim. We're only down by 5 with 3 minutes left in the game. Let's go ahead and jump in there and see what we can do. See if James Harden and AJ DeBanza and crew can carry us to a win in game 1 of the series. And this series right here, this playoff run this season is going to be very telling of how we're going to be able to move going forward. Because honestly, like I said, this is a Clippers rebuild, so I don't really have time for first round, second round exits. So I would expect to see a lot of moves if we don't end up winning and advancing to at least the conference semifinals this year. I mean, not the conference semis, but the conference finals this year. If we don't at least make it there, we will see a lot of movements going on in this Clippers organization. But great bucket right there by Robert Williams. As you see, we got the Mavericks calling a timeout now. We were able to cut the lead down to 3 points with about 1:30 left in the game. We got P.J. Washington subbing in for Derek Lively. Then we got Zubac, our big man, coming back in. So definitely expect to see a lot of banging in the paint between Zubac and Anthony Davis. Kyrie kicks it out to Washington. Cooper Flag shoots up a 3-pointer and misses. Rebound by Kuminga. Looks like he's pushing it. Pass up to AJ DeBanza. He got him one-on-one on the wing with Flag. Let's see if he can get by him. No. And he turns the ball over. Hardy's got the ball. Mavericks is pushing it in transition. Hands it off to D'Angelo Russell. And he goes in for the dunk, extending the Mavericks lead to 5 points with about 2 minutes left in the game. And it looks like Ty Lue's coaching strategy is just to play with the young guys, because I have not seen James Harden get a touch yet, and it's down the stretch late, and these young guys are just taking horrible shots. But I don't think Ty Lue and James Harden are on the best of foots right now. It might be a little disconnect in the locker room, but James Harden definitely should be getting some touches late down the stretch in the playoffs. Nice defense so far from us during this possession. Let's see. Washington throws it to Davis. Let's see Zubac. That's what we got you for. I need that defense. Great defense by Zubac, causing Davis to miss the ball. We got Christie pushing it in transition, stops up, drives to the baseline, comes back up. Let's see if he can break down Hardy. He passes it to Kuminga on the wing, and Kuminga's going to take a wide open 3 and nail it. 2-point game with a minute left. Ty Lue might know what he's doing, so let's just keep running through the young players. Let's keep running through Kuminga and keep running through DeBanza, keep running through, Christie, and let's see what we can do. But we got Flag coming back trying to answer for that 3-pointer. He misses. Christie is pushing in transition. I see this young team likes to get out, and they like to run in transition. We still have not seen the ball go over to James Harden yet, but this is going to be a great matchup going forward years to come. DeBanza versus Flag. So hopefully these two, as they progress, they can take over the West, and that'll be one of the the better matchups in the Western Conference Finals for years to come. We call a timeout. Well, the Mavericks call a timeout. About 30 seconds left. Tie ball game. They have the ball. We're trailing back. We're storming back. This arena is electric right now. They're erupting. The Mavs fans are on their feet. Let's see if we can kind of spoil game one in Dallas for this away crowd for the Mavericks. But we definitely got to keep pushing. As you see J Kidd right there on the bench. Hopefully he just gave their team some words of encouragement. But let's see if Ty Lue drew up a great play for us on defense. Right now we got AJ DeBansa on Cooper flag at the top. Looks like Cooper's going to call an ISO right now, just dribbling the ball down. We got about a 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Russell's going out to the wing. AD sets a pick, and then it's a steal by Zubac, who takes it all the way down for the layup and giving us the lead with 1.1 seconds left in the game. So it looks like we are going to take game one in Dallas. Very, very big performance right there from Zubac. So it looks like he is earning all of his contracts. So we might have to look forward to keeping him just to kind of hold down the paint, be our interior force down low. And let's go ahead and jump into game two now. Looks like we're getting blown out by the Mavericks. Definitely a 10-point game. Oh, we're coming back in the fourth. It's a 2-point game with about 3 minutes left. Dallas takes the lead now. It's a back and forth game. Let's go ahead and jump in here. Let's see what we can do down the stretch in Dallas. 7-point game with about 3 minutes left to go. Let's see if Zubac can carry us. Probably going to have to lean on James Harden, AJ DeBansa a little bit more, just because I don't expect Zubac to have games like that, consistently going forward. You got Cooper flag up top, hands it off to, great move by Williams. Great steal right there. That's what we got him for. And then we got him in the corner. Oh, that was a great shot by Anthony if he could have made that shot. Now I see why Cooper won most improved player, just because he has the ball in his hands so much. Like, this offense is flowing through Cooper flag. It's not flowing through Anthony Davis. It's not flowing through Kyrie Irving. It's literally sitting here flowing through Cooper flag. He's up top running pick and rolls throughout the entire game. Bad read from him right there. Great steal by AJ DeBansa. Right now we got a one-on-one against Anthony Davis. We kick it out to Aaron Wiggins. Next swing it back up to the top to Simons to get that pick from Zubac. Let's see what we can do. Nobody really open right there, but we're going to take D'Angelo Russell all the way to the cup, and then Derek Lively slides over for the block, and then they're running in transition just like we are. They get D'Angelo Russell, get an easy layup going up by 85-94. So right now, not looking too good for us. Like I said, we're down 9. Got AJ DeBansa still on Anthony Davis for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think we have AJ. We don't have AJ at the 4, so I don't think they have AD at the 3. I think they're just running, looks to have their defensive stopper on our best offensive player right now. So this would be a perfect time to have James Harden in the game, get him some touches, as their defensive focus right now is focused on stopping DeBansa. But right now, down the stretch, for some reason, we do not have James Harden in the game. They're going to kick out. Oh, wow. We had Simons on Gafford. That's going to be a mismatch every time, and they're going to get it to him. And now we go down by 11 with about a minute left. So this game is not looking too favorable for us. We got Kuminga walking up to the scores table now, but right now it might be too little, too late, as AJ DeBansa is able to draw the foul on Anthony Davis. And then we can go ahead and send the rest of this game. We know how it's going to go. As we fast forward a little bit, now we're down 3-2 to the Mavericks. We advance. Now we got 3-3. Let's go to a game 7. Right now, it's looking like this is going to be a down the stretch game. We have the lead with about 4 minutes left. Let's go ahead and jump into it. A 1-point lead against the Dallas Mavericks for a chance to go to the conference finals. And hopefully we can have a big game from James Harden. I know he's kind of been quiet so far in the playoffs, but hopefully he can, will his team back to a conference finals. I know he had those years where it was him. He had those years where it was the Rockets going up against the Warriors every year in the playoffs. He saw a couple conference finals while he was in Houston, but he was never able to make it to a NBA final. So hopefully now that he has a younger team around, great pass from Harden, behind the back pass, no look pass to Zubac. But yeah, hopefully now that he has a younger squad around him, he's able to be that veteran leader and just kind of give them that mentorship and have them put in more of the footwork and will them to a conference finals or an NBA championship type run. And Derek Lively goes over Zubac, banks it in, puts the Mavericks up by 2. Clippers go ahead and call a timeout, down by 2 with 3 minutes left in the game. There's going to be a big timeout right here. Hopefully Ty Lue can coach his team up, get these guys right. just so we can get that chance. This is a big game. This is a big game. This is Game 7, conference semifinals. So all the marbles right here. You got the young guys. You got AD trying to prove that he can lead a team to the Western Conference Finals. He's never done that before. And we got AJ DeBansta trying to shoot a three, but it misses. That would have been a really, really big shot right there. And speaking of Anthony Davis, this is kind of off topic, but it's more about, real life. This is my personal opinion, but I feel like AD is on his last leg. Like, this is going to be his last big contract. It's no way that he gets anything, more than 25 plus a year after this contract runs out. I believe he has like 3 years left on his deal, if I'm not wrong, but he's just way too injury prone. Like, this guy can never stay healthy. He can never stay on the court. It's not as bad as Zion, but it's bad. Like, he can never stay on the court. He can never be healthy. Like, there's no way teams continue to go out and say, yeah, I'm gonna pay AD based on he might be able to stay on the court. Like, it's way past that point now. Like, this guy's a veteran. He's about to be 33, 34 years old. So he's already shown us what he'll do. And wow, that's a nice block right there by AJ DeBansa. Get picked up by Jonathan Kamiga as they take it down there, run it in transition, slow it down a little bit. Let's see what we can do. ISO trying to drive, and we get a foul on Nimhard. So that's his 5th foul of the game. But yeah, no AD slander. Just what I'm seeing from, my perspective. AD still, regardless of the injuries, all that, he's still a top 5 power forward of all time. I have him as a power forward, not a center. I hate that when he went to the Lakers, they kind of switched him over to that center role. As he complained a lot. He told him like he's not a center, he's a power forward. I just wish him and Boogie, if they never got healthy and that could have worked out, I feel like that would have been tremendous for him, because he could have been like that demigod for position that we're about to start seeing now in the NBA. He could have started that about 5-6 years ago. And the Mavs right now, they're slowly pulling away. So 4-point game, nice spin move by AJ DeBanza. That's going on the highlight tape for sure. Right now he's at 34 minutes, 18 points, shooting 38% from the field. So he might need to look at getting the ball out of his hands to see if he can get the ball into James Harden's hands. I don't know if Ty Lue's going to make that adjustment. From what I've seen, the 2 games that I've been watching, Nimhard, he misses a 3. But the 2 games that I've been watching, it seems like the ball is just running through AJ, and like he has the ball right now, and it doesn't look like he's trying to even look towards passing it to Harden. Like, the ball's going out of AJ's hands, going to a big man, going to one of the wing players, and it's swinging right back to AJ. And I don't know if that's the smartest move to make right now, especially in a Game 7 down by 4 when you have a veteran like James Harden. And you got a big miss right there by Nimhard. Let's see, we got AJ DeBanza taking it up down 2 with about 25 seconds left. He kicks it to the post to Kaminga, who gets rejected by Anthony Davis. And being so serious right now, I don't even think I saw James Harden get the ball one time in these 2 games that I've watched. Like, the ball has just been running through AJ DeBanza and friends. Like, I get it, AJ DeBanza, he's the guy that we want to build around. But right now, if you still have that veteran presence, especially in the playoffs, you got to get him involved. Like, you got to get your offensive-minded point guard, shooting guard, whatever you want to call James Harden, you got to get him involved. He has to have some touches down the stretch. And that's going to be our key takeaway this season. We're going to lose this game, but we're down for 22 seconds left. But sitting down with Ty Lue at the end of the season, just going over our yearly review, like, Ty Lue, like, this right here is the first time I'm seeing James Harden have the ball in his hands. Like, we've got to have, our veterans, our leaders. This guy, Anthony Davis, man, wow. Like, bro, if he could have stayed healthy, if he could just be healthy, man, and, like, grace the court as much as he should be able to, like, he would bless us every single game. Like, this guy is so dominant defensively. Like, his defense is so underrated, man. But, yeah, back to the yearly review with Ty Lue. Like, my guy, we got to figure something out. Our veterans, I get it. You don't like your veterans because what Chris Paul did to you, whatever. Okay, cool. I get it. But we're 2 years removed from that now. Like, we got to get our veterans involved. We got to make sure they get the ball down the stretch, because if not, we're never going to win a championship. We're never going to make it out the second round. So until you can figure that out, if you can't figure it out, we might have to get rid of you. But until you can figure that out, like, we need you to lock in and focus. In Western Conference Finals this year, we got the Dallas Mavericks going up against the Timberwolves. And in the East, surprisingly, we got the Knicks going up against the Nets. So the Subway Series has made its way to the NBA. And then the Knicks end up taking down the Mavericks in a 4-1. Jalen Brunson wins his first finals and his first finals MVP. Retiring this season, we got KD trying to retire. I'm going to go ahead and override that. We can't have KD and LeBron leave the league at the same time. That would leave the league in complete shambles. I'm going to go ahead and reject Paul George's. I'm going to go ahead and reject James Harden's as well, just because he had a great season. He's only 37. I mean, I get it. It's year 18, and LeBron's kind of spoiled us thinking that players can play into year 20 and whatnot. But James Harden had a more than productive season, so I'm pretty sure he can go at least 1 to 2 more years in the league at a high level. And then I'm gonna go ahead and reject Zubac. I mean, not Zubac, but Vucevic and Tobias Harris. I'm gonna go ahead and reject their retirement. They still got years left on their contract. Like, they're not leaving money on the table. It's putting the Lakers in a horrible spot, but I mean, y'all picked them up, y'all signed them, y'all got to deal with the consequences now. So definitely glad I overturned KD's retirement, because having LeBron, Curry, and Russ in the top off KD, all four of those guys leaving the league at the same time, that would have been horrible for the league. And it's horrible that those three guys had to leave at the same time. But I mean, it is what it is. I can't override Curry because I already overrided him once. And I do feel like it's time for him to go out now. LeBron probably realistically played a little bit longer than he should have. In real life, he'll probably retire, in one more season. I give him one more season, especially now, with all the back problems he's having. But as we're looking at the lottery, we got the Pelicans getting the first pick, Kings, followed by the Hawks, Trailblazers, Jazz, Celtics again, Thunder, Pacers, Jazz again, and then the Grizzlies rounding out the top 10. And we don't have a lottery pick this year, so I'm just kind of going to be strategic with who we draft this season. I do want to get a guard because I know James Harden, his time is coming up. He's in year 18, about to be 19, so we don't have too much longer left with James Harden. So I want to try to go ahead and get his replacement in as soon as possible so I can put him in the mentorship program with James Harden, just so all the best badges that he has, I can go ahead and transition them over, to whoever we draft, the young guy that we end up drafting. But I don't see really a lot of point guards, so it's going to have to be a guard in general. We got Omer Meyer. We end up taking Mingo with the 25th overall pick in the draft. Let's look at if we want to extend Robert Williams. He did kind of have a decent season for us, so I am going to go ahead and send that offer out his way. And we got Zubac, Harden, Kuminga, Simons, Williams, AJ DeBanza, Derrick Jones, Aaron Wiggins, rounding out our team so far for the year. I am going to try to shop James Harden, so let's see what we can get for him on the open market. I do want to get at least 3 first-round picks, and as you can see with Sacramento, they put in that swap best, swap worst. I'm not a fan of that. I tried to do it without it, but it looks like we're not going to be able to get it unless I put it in there. So I got 3 first-round picks for James Harden. And then Malik Monk, I'm going to end up trading him away as well because he had 21 years and $21 million a year. I'm not trying to take that cap hit. Like we said, I'm still trying to offload as much of this salary as possible because, like I said, we're in LA. We're going to land a big superstar eventually. And as I see, we have Kevin Durant, who is not being offered any good contracts. So I might just swoop in, offer him a 1-year deal, have him mentor AJ DeBanza, get some badges from Kevin Durant, and just keep him on that upward trajectory because we already pushing for DeBanza to be the next star. So if I can pair him up with a superstar like Kevin Durant, he'll be more than set up for success. And then surprisingly, we also have Tyler Hero on the market. He's not a good fit for us, so I'm not really looking at him. Damian Lillard is also on the market as well as an unrestricted free agent. We also have MPJ, unrestricted free agent, Kristaps Porzingis, unrestricted free agent, and Scoot Henderson as a restricted free agent. And surprisingly, MPJ doesn't want anything. He'll take $6 million a year to come here. And relatively, he's still in his prime, age-wise. He's only 29. So I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 3-year deal, front-loaded, just to save on that cap space, as he, gets older, peaks over that 30, you start going downhill. So I want his dollar amount to match his production amount. I don't want his production amount to not match his dollar amount. That's why I hate those, it gets higher as you go. It should get lower as you go because I'm paying you for your production now. But yeah, I got that offer submitted into MPJ, so we'll see if he accepts it going forward. As we take a look at centers, I do want to have a center to back up Zubac just because I know he is getting older as well. So let's go ahead and put Robert Williams on a 2-year vet minimum deal. Now, see, we still got Jordan Poole out here. Wow, and he's only wanting $4 million a year, 28 years old. So we can, get him to LA. I know LA is appealing, but he has an offer from the Knicks. But I'm pretty sure we can pull him away from the Knicks. Let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can work our magic right here to try to get Jordan Poole out in LA. Let's have a pool party in LA. He's more of a palm tree type of guy. He's not really a concrete jungle subway type of guy. Jordan Poole gives off, he likes to be laid out on his off days, laid out at the beach, enjoying a nice drink, next to some palm trees and stuff. Not really giving off those subway New York vibes. So let's go ahead and get Jordan Poole out to LA. And as we see, the Mavs are trying to extend Kyrie Irving on a 3-year deal. it looks like Jokic is gonna leave the Nuggets and he might head over to the Warriors. Wow, that'll be surprising. Curry leaves and they have Jokic as his successor. That would be very, very crazy. Let's try to see if we might be in the running to try to get Jokic to come out to LA and getting rid of Kawhi. It just showed me how much he is taking away. Like Kawhi, no shade to Kawhi at all, man, but Kawhi is taking up so much of the Clippers cap space right now. Like he is the main reason that they're in cap space hell. Like he's getting 50+ million a year to do nothing. Like he's not producing. I already said it before, but like I gotta say it again. Like getting rid of Kawhi Leonard was like taking the monkey off of our back. Like it freed us up to do so much more. And then I'm going back in and adjusting Jokic's contract and go ahead and add a player option to it to see if it makes it more sweeter for him to come here rather than picking the Warriors. But it looks like it doesn't. It does look like Jokic is going to end up signing with the Golden State Warriors. So I was looking at bringing in Cat. I don't know, and just moving him to the 4 and having Zubac run the 5. But I don't really want to add Cat. I'd rather spend it on KD, get him for 1 year, offload him off the books after that one season rather than having to be tied to Cat for multiple years. And then too, looking at it from a GM mindset, KD is going to bring in more money rather than Cat. There's a lot more marketability, especially this being his last year. He's going on a retirement tour, so definitely the seats are going to be filled. A lot more people are going to buy more jerseys his last jersey, so just a lot more profitable to bring in Kevin Durant rather than getting Cat. So this might be a down year for the Clippers because I know it's going to be a weird fit. I'm going to have to move Kevin Durant from the small forward over to the power forward, or I could have him come off the bench. Probably not though, just because it is, who it is Kevin Durant. It's not, no disrespect, but it's not a Melo. It's a Kevin Durant. This guy's the top 4 scorer all time, top 3 scorer all time. He can't come off the bench, so I'm gonna go ahead and move him to power forward just so we can make sure AJ DeBanza is still starting. So I'm gonna have AJ DeBanza starting along with Kevin Durant. Then also out there in free agency, we still got Kawhi Leonard out there. DeAndre Hunter's out there as well. DeAndre's only wanting $5 million, and like I said, same thing as I said for MPJ. He's 29 and he's wanting about $5 million. So I'm gonna take that every single time. I'm gonna do that front loaded contract, so he's getting the bulk of his money the first year because that's what I'm paying you for. It's a production when you first sign. And then regress each year after that. And then we still got Kristaps Porzingis out there, Derek Lively out there, Neemias Queta out there. I believe he won a Defensive Player of the Year award, so that's a good steal to pick up for him. So as we see, you're gonna go ahead and look at our adjusted roster now that free agency has kind of wrapped up. We got Simons, Ball, Mingo, Poole, Wiggins, Chrissy, MPJ, Hunter, DeBanza, KD, Kuminga, Zubac, Robert Williams, and Queta. So a very, very stacked lineup heading into next season. A mix of young players, a mix of older players. You got that veteran presence, and then you got that young, that young killer mindset on this floor as well. So great mix. I feel like it'll be a great season for us, and definitely poised to take a leap this season is going to be Anthony Simons. So we'll see how that plays out. And then we got Jordan Poole at the 2 guard. He's coming off a 16-point per game season, so nice season for him last season. I do kind of want to extend Zubac, but he's out asking for $14 million a year, so more than I'm willing to give him, just because I do want to have that cap space clear. Because like I'm saying, we're playing in LA. I want to make sure, if it does happen, if a player decides to leave his team without notice, we're able to have that, fund to pull from, because LA is going to be marketable wherever. So I don't want to spend too much money on Zubac. So hopefully at the end of the year, we'll revisit that. He is the best player on our team, as far as rating wise, but $14 million a year to a center, I'm just not willing to offer that right now. And then you got to think about it as well. AJ's coming. He's going to come off his rookie deal, and I don't want to be in a position like the Thunder where you have, you're going to have to start getting rid of veterans. I mean, it's going to happen regardless, but I don't want to have to start getting rid of veterans because I got these young guys coming into the swing of things. I want to kind of already have that fund ready for them, or a fund ready to bring in some big name free agents. I don't want to have to keep and be stuck with our veterans that we have now, when I could go out and bring in some better performing veterans to mix them in with the younger guys. And as you see, KD cracked the top 5 in scoring. Right now he's sitting at 33.8 thousand, so he passed Kobe Bryant. Honestly, he's about 3K away from passing Karl Malone, so it doesn't look like he'll pass Karl Malone. And we got James Harden 9, and then Curry 10, followed by Russell Westbrook. So Melo's legacy just keeps going lower and lower and lower. And then in the next couple of years, because DeMar's only 200 points behind him, so probably in the next 2 years, Melo will be on the brink of coming out of the top 15 for all time in scoring. And then as we look at 3-pointers career made all time, James Harden ended up passing Ray Allen. We got James Harden, Steph Curry, James Harden, Ray Allen, Dame Lillard, Klay Thompson, LeBron, and Paul George. Don't forget about KD. I see he did crack the top 10 as well. And then this is really just a look at how dominant LeBron James' stats were. He got 12K rebounds. And as we look at assists, he's number 2 in assists. He got 12K assists as well. So LeBron James is definitely the GOAT. I just hate he had to end his season or end his career with the Bulls. So I hate seeing that number 5 Bulls jersey right there. I really hate it. And as we take a look at the power rankings, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder still got their main core together, SGA, J-Dub, and Chet Holmgren. And then as we go down, we're coming in the season as the 19th best according to the power ranking records. And then we got Anthony, Jordan Poole, DeAndre, Kevin Durant, Zubac, MPJ, and the bench. I'm gonna have to go in and adjust this our lineup because I'm definitely not starting Hunter over the bench, and I'm definitely not giving MPJ minutes over the bench. And as we go into our mentorship program, I am giving the bench that marketability badge that KD has. He does have it on Hall of Fame. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's Hall of Fame or what, because it's a mental badge, I believe. So it's not something that can progress. It doesn't have the tiers. But I am gonna have the bench and getting mentored by Kevin Durant. As you jump into the season, we got Victor Wembanyama winning the NBA Cup MVP. Our stats for the season: we got Kevin Durant leading the way with 19 points, followed by AJ, MPJ, Kuminga, Anthony Simons, and Jordan Poole, all averaging double figures for us this season. And if you take a look at Kevin Durant's stats, this looks like it's gonna be the first time in his career that he's going to be averaging less than 20 points per game. He is in year 20, so it kind of is expected. But like I said earlier, we just have that mentality that in year 20, players are still supposed to be performing how they were performing their whole career, when in reality, it's not. This guy's almost 40 years old, and he's still competing with the best of them in the top ranks of the NBA. And if you take a look at Kuminga stats, he is regressing down from last year. Also, Anthony is down from last year as well, and Jordan Poole. So we got 3 players that are on a decline, but that's fine because, you know, you're coming to a team with more talent, so it's only one ball. So the ball's going to get spread out more, so the numbers are going to be less. As long as it's still equating to wins, I'm perfectly fine with that. Zubac's numbers are way down as well. As you take a look at the standings, the Spurs are number 1 in the West, and the Kings are still at the bottom of the Western Conference. I believe this is 3rd year in a row that they are going to be rounding out the bottom half of the conference. So I am a little bit disappointed what the Warriors are doing so far. I traded away Malik Monk because I thought they were going to have a high number 1 pick, you know, with Stephen Curry retiring. But then bringing in Jokic kind of threw a whole monkey wrench in that plan. So that first round pick that I'm getting from the Warriors is probably going to be worth nothing at this point. Midway through the season, the whole starting 5 is on fire. Literally everybody in my starting 5 is on fire. We got Christie on fire, MPJ, Kuminga, and Zubac all on fire. And then we got Jordan Poole, bona fide 6-man, also on fire. Jumping ahead to the end of the season awards, we got Wemby winning MVP, Kel'el Ware winning 6-man of the year. Nice year for Kel'el Ware. Troran, I definitely butchered your last name, don't know how to say it. And I skipped over to Roy. We got Tyrann Stokes winning Roy for the Pelicans. Clutch player of the year is going to be Jalen Brunson. Executive of the year is going to go to the Spurs. And coach of the year is going to go to the Raptors in the Eastern Conference. First team All-NBA, we got Wemby, Jokic, Luka, Cade Cunningham, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I'm surprised Luka's assists are so high, just seeing that he's lost so many of his key players. And then we look at Cade's stats. Wow, 35 and 11. Previous year, he was 36. So Cade has been killing it quietly in the Eastern Conference. SGA had 32, 4, 7, and 2, 50, 40, 90 season. So yeah, it looks like the foreigners are really trying to take over the NBA now. Only American that we had on first team All NBA was Cade Cunningham. Second team, we got Anthony Edwards, Jalen Johnson, Tyrese Halliburton, Devin Booker, Cooper Flagg. So it looks like the first team was all foreign players, and then the second team is all American-born players, you know, except for Cade being that lone star on the first team. And then let's bounce over to the third team. We got LaMelo Ball, Paolo Banchero, Darren Peterson, Scotty Barnes, and Jason Tatum. So surprisingly, the Clippers had nobody make an All-NBA team this season, although we had Kevin Durant paired up with AJ DeBan. So it looks like we were more focused on the mentorship this side of the season, and hopefully we'll look back into getting back at it at the beginning of next season. But let's go ahead and look at the playoffs. Let's look how we're poised to make a run. And as we look at the first team All-Rookie and second team All-Rookie, let's hop ahead into the playoff bracket. As As you see, we're the 6th seed. We'll be taking on the Phoenix Suns in the first round. Let's go ahead and sim the play-in, and we're going to sim the first game of this series. It looks like we take the dub in Phoenix. MPJ goes down with an injury. We got Phoenix going up 2-1. So us winning game 1 is already wiped out at the books. We were supposed to get both of those games at home. We ended up dropping both at home. So now Phoenix is up 3-1 on us. We drop another and we go down 4-1. We lose to Kevin Durant's former team as a gentleman sweep in the first round of the playoffs. And it always sucks to get eliminated in the first round. But as you see, we did have 2 big injuries. We had Zubac go down. We also had MPJ go down. Both of those guys were big parts in making it to where we are at this point in the postseason. So it was kind of expected, although it sucks that it is Kevin Durant's last season. But we did put up a fight, and hopefully we were able to partner AJ with KD to learn some more development to get his growth expedited. And then Western Conference Player of the Year was Devin Booker. Eastern Conference Player of the Year was Jalen Johnson. Suns end up beating the Hawks in the playoffs. Devin Booker takes home Finals MVP. And it looks like we're going to have Paul George, Kevin Durant, James Harden, Vucevic, Tobias Harris, CJ McCollum. Wow, Lakers had a squad. And TJ McConnell all end up retiring this offseason. And hopefully with James Harden retiring out of the league, it'll make the Kings even worse. And remember, we do have the Kings picks for the next foreseeable future. So hopefully they can keep getting worse and worse just so we can keep getting better and better picks. And right now it looks like we are projected to get the #1 overall pick. And we sim the lottery and we do go ahead and get that #1 overall pick from the Kings. And that was a mastermind GM move right there, trading away a older aging asset for 3 crucial pieces for your future. In the #1 overall pick, we end up drafting CJ Rosser. He's a 6'10" with a 7'5" wingspan. So I compare him and Debansa out on the wings, because I don't really want to put one of them at power forward just because they are both really, really light, but at the same time, they're really, really long. So we got real length on the wings. So we have a great defensive-minded team. I just got to see how I'm going to pair that going forward, because I want to keep Zubac. Like I always say, I'm going to try to get that demigod 4 position. So if I can keep Debansa at the 3, and then I can move Rosser to the 2. And Debansa had a big jump this offseason. He went up 6 points, and now he's at 88 overall. Then we got Zubac at an 83, Jonathan Kuminga at an 81. MPJ went down 3 points. He's now an 81 overall. He is 30 years old. Then we got Anthony Simons. He's 29. He's an 80 overall. Then Cam Christie, he's still on his upward trend. He's now an 80 overall at only 23 years old. So that contract that we signed him for, that $4 million for 3 years, on the downward slope, definitely looking like a steal now that he is developing to a decent, solid role player on a contending team. And now we're at the halfway point through the season. We got Debansa averaging 26, 6, and 8. 2 steals to go along with 2 blocks, followed by Kuminga averaging 17 points, 82 overall. Let's see, Kuminga only wants 9.5 M's. That's a big decline from his $19 million that he's at right now. That's a $10 million pay cut. So we might have to revisit that in the offseason. Cade wins MVP. We got CJ Rosser winning Rookie of the Year, followed by Stefan Jakazmovic from Slovenia. He wins the most improved 6-man of the year, Then we got Wemby, of course, winning DPOY. You got Tatum as clutch player of the year, 24 points. Billy Donovan winning coach of the year. Then we got the Spurs winning executive of the year for 2 years in a row. First team All-NBA, Giannis, Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, and AJ Debansa makes first team All-NBA, 26, 7, and 7, 2 steals and 2 blocks, shooting 54% from the floor. And we got to work on his free throw percentage. His free throw percentage is in the mid-60s, so definitely got to work on his free throws. And what happened to the free throws? You know how when we were younger, the first part of the game that we learned was to shoot free throws, but now it's like all the young players now, they struggle with shooting free throws, even the guards. That's another story for another day, I guess. But second team All-NBA, we got SGA, Jalen Johnson, Paolo Banchero, Cooper Flag, Jason Tatum. Then third team All-NBA, we have Jason. It looks like Jason Tatum again. I guess that's a typo. I would assume that it meant to be Darren Peterson, Michael Brown Jr., Alperen Sengun, Caleb Wilson, and Scoot Henderson. Definitely surprised to see Scoot, highly touted, but he is a Georgia product, so I'm always going to be rooting for Scoot. And as we take a look at our lineup, we got everybody pretty much in the starting 5, hot as we're starting the playoffs, except for Williams and Anthony Simons. I don't know, this might be a make or break series right here for Anthony Simons. If he doesn't perform in the playoffs, it might be time for us to move on from him. Plot twist, we don't even make it to the playoffs. We get eliminated in the play-in game. Eastern Conference Finals Player of the Year is Cooper Flag. Western Conference Player is Cooper Flag. Eastern Conference is Scotty Barnes. And then we have the Dallas Mavericks winning the NBA NBA championship. Cooper Flag takes home finals MVP. Two big names retiring this offseason. We got Kawhi Leonard and DeMar DeRozan both retiring. Also have Dame Lillard retiring as well. And this is a year that we had that swap worst, swap best, or whatever pick swap with the Kings that we ended up getting the 76ers pick. So we're not going to have a good pick this year in the draft. It looks like our first pick is going to be the 13th pick, and then we have the 17th pick as well. So lottery picks, but they're deeper in the draft, so we won't get any top rated players. We end up walking away with Isaiah Hamilton and Aiden Diggs in the first round. Isaiah Hamilton is a defensive minded wing. I don't know, it's just something about wings that I'm always drawn to wings. I'm pretty big on that position as basketball. And as we see, we got that team option $5 million for Michael Porter Jr. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up, bring it back for next year. I'm also going to bring back Mingo as well. And as we take a look at his stats, he really hasn't played much in his first 2 seasons, but I know he still has a lot of potential, really averaging 0 points over his first 2 years, but I'm basing it on potential. So I am going to bring him back. And not really much happening for us in free agency this year. As we go ahead and take a look at our lineup right now, we got Debansa at an 88 overall, Zubac 83, Kuminga 82, a lot of 80s. So we're starting to fill out now, starting to come into form with a lot of these young guys. I know I said I wasn't going to do too much in free agency this year, but I'm taking a look right now. See G.G. Jackson, 24 years old, 6'9", 7 foot wingspan. He's only wanting about $10 million a year, and I know with the way we finagle things, we can get him down to probably about 9. So I am going to bring in G.G. So that is going to be my one off-season acquisition this year. And just taking a look at Anthony right now, it looks like he already has peaked. Right now he's 30 years old, peaked at about 81 overall. He's averaging 15 and 7 last season, so his assist numbers definitely went up on his career. I know to start off his career, he was more known as a scorer. He came under that Dame Lillard tree, but since he's came over to the Clippers, we kind of converted him over because we don't need him to score. We rather have his, playmaking ability. Let AJ score, let Roster score now. We had Kevin Durant at one point, so we had a lot of scorers around him, so we didn't really need him to score as much. We just needed him to facilitate the ball. And even as a facilitator, he could have been a lot better. And right now, I'm just taking a look at Roster. I see he has an A- in playmaking, while Anthony only has a B+. Honestly, we might end up moving Roster up to the point guard spot just to open up that starting shooting guard spot for Cam Christie. I'm really high on Cam Christie. He's only won $4 million a year, but he's given a lot of production. So I might just move Roster down to that 1 and let Cam Christie take over the 2 for us, and just have Anthony coming off the bench in his last year of his contract. Because Cam Christie is still progressing. Right now he's at an 82. Roster went up 8 points. Now he's at an 88, and AJ went up 3. He's at a 91. Now Kuminga, we do see him starting to decline. He went down to an 81 overall. That's somebody we might have to take a look for as far as trade pieces coming forward. I do try to re-sign Anthony, but I see he still wants $8 million a year. Kuminga wants $9 million a year. It's not happening. I'd be more willing to re-sign DeAndre Hunter over both of them, but to take it into consideration, DeAndre Hunter is aged and he's 31, so I'm just going to sign him on a 1-year vet minimum deal. And as we take a look at our starting lineup this season, we see we did move Roster to the 1. He did recline to an 86 overall, but that's fine. I know he's still young. He's still progressing. We got Cam Christie starting, AJ Debansa, Jonathan Kuminga, and Isaac Ivaka Zubac. We go ahead and sim to the end of the season. We had Garmo winning Rookie of the Year, Wemby winning DPOY and MVP, Caleb Holt winning Clutch Player of the Year, Billy Donovan and Christopher Bell winning Coaches and Executive Player of the Year, Jalen Johnson winning NBA Cup MVP. Then first team All-NBA, we got Wemby, AJ, Luka, Cade Cunningham, and Jokic. And Luka did end up leaving the Los Angeles Lakers after those 3 players retired. He ended up going to Sacramento, so he stayed in the state of California. Second team All-NBA, we got SGA, Jalen Johnson, Cat, CJ Rosser, and Alperen Sengun. So big leap this year for Rosser, averaging 29 and 9. So I want to see if we're going to be able to get 2 players on first team All-NBA. And I know by the time we have 2 players on first team All-NBA, we should be able to make it to either at least the Western Conference Finals, if not our first NBA Finals berth. We got third team All-NBA, Ant-Man, Paolo Banchero, Giannis, Tyron Stokes, and Dylan Harper on the Spurs. So big improvements on Dylan Harper and Tyron Stokes. Another year we're 9th in the West, so we have a play-in shot against Houston Rockets going up against Alperen Sengun. It looks like we're going to beat them pretty easily right now, so we're going to go into that 7 versus 8 matchup, and we're going up against the Kings, so we're going up against Luka Doncic right now, and it looks like we're going to take care of Luka Doncic as well to get that 8 spot in the Western Conference playoff, where we'll be taking on the San Antonio Spurs as a 1 seed in the West. They still got Wemby, so let's go ahead and jump into game 1. Let's see how game 1 plays out, and it looks like we're ahead, and it looks like we might end up taking game 1 in San Antonio, so we're going to go up 1-0 on the number 1 seed in the West, and then it looks like we're going to go ahead and sim into game 2. San Antonio jumps out to an early lead, and it keeps getting extended. Right now they're up by about 20 points. We cut it down to 10 in the 4th quarter. San Antonio ends up taking game 2. Let's jump into game 3. Game 3 is pretty much a back and forth game so far. It looks like we might end up walking out with the edge. Right now we're up 117 to 122. Let's go ahead and jump into this game and see where we're at. And the thing that I like most about us being up against the number 1 seed in the West is we still haven't got that one key free agent signing. I get it, we had KD last year, but that was pretty much a farewell tour and just a training for AJ DeBansa. And now we're seeing AJ DeBansa coming to his own form, and we got him paired with a great young point guard in CJ Rosser. So if we could get like that demigod 4, we would be gold, and this team would be unstoppable. Hopefully we can get some free agents coming up in the next couple of years. Hopefully Evan Mobley can probably hit the free agent market. That's one big demigod 4 that I know I've had my eye on. And as we take a look, what I'm noticing on the Spurs, they have Trae Young. So I'm not sure if they ended up trading Trae Young or he ended up not re-signing back in Atlanta because front office had to have that sit down with him and let him know they were going to take the Jalen Johnson route going forward. Jalen Johnson has been killing in Atlanta over the last 3 seasons. Nice shot by Castle in the post, cuts the lead down to 3. He has 14 points in 30 minutes on 58% shooting from the field. 3-point game with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Clippers go ahead and call a timeout. And this is a big game right here. It's game 3 of the series. We were able to split 1-1 in San Antonio. So if we're able to win this game right here at home, put us up 2-1, then we got one more game at home. We'll be sitting in a really nice spot. We'll have a chance to be up 3-1, headed back into San Antonio. So definitely going to try to get this W this game. He misses the shot. Kaminga gets the rebound, kicks it out, and we're running in transition to AJ DeBansa with the dunk over Wemby. And as you see, we're averaging 33 assists per game. We're 3rd in the NBA. Tonight we have 43 assists. So we're playing amazing tonight. Looks like we might be able to walk away with the dub this game. We got Anthony Simons shooting 79% true shooting so far in the postseason. Another pass down in the paint to AJ DeBansa. He has 25 points. 16 of those points have came in the paint so far tonight. And going back to Simons, if he can keep up this, true shooting percentage and being a floor general point guard as a backup point guard for that second unit, this team is going to be so well-rounded. Like, we have a backup point guard that's not too old. He's still young. He can still get out on the defensive end. Roster goes down. He can still come in, start, run the game for us at the 1. Having Anthony Simons is definitely a nice touch. And then don't forget, he had that mentorship with Dame Lillard to start off his career. So he does have a couple of good badges that we can put to good use. And I know the question now is, what about defense? You don't have anybody on defense. Anthony Simons came under that Dame tree, so he's not really defensive minded. But remember, we drafted Hamilton last year in the draft. He's a defensive minded wing player. So that's somebody we can kind of use as a Swiss Army knife. We can have him guard point guards. We can have him guard shooting guards, small forwards, maybe even power forwards and bigs. You see, how he plays out, how he progresses over the next couple of seasons. But he's definitely going to be our Swiss Army knife for the defensive end. Right now, the Thunder, they have Alex Caruso, they have Lou Dort, they have those people that they can switch off and have them either guard the guards or guard big men, as we saw Alex Caruso do last year in the playoffs as far as guarding Jokic and trying to slow him down just a little bit. We got AJ DeBansa bringing the ball up the court now. We're up 3 with about 40 seconds left in the game, and he's trying to drive. So he misses a shot. Wemby gets a rebound, and they're pushing. They're off in transition. They're running. Castle has the ball. He's out on the wing now. You got an unfavorable matchup. Yeah, we had Kaminga on Wemby. He's going to win that matchup 10 times out of 10. We got to make sure Zubac is guarding Wemby. That's the whole reason that we have Zubac, is to kind of have that interior force in the paint. So right now, we're definitely going to need either a score. No, we definitely need a score because we're only up 1 with about 15 seconds left. 3-second differential between the shot and game clock. AJ DeBansa just going to run the clock down, and he passes a nice pass. He read Wemby the right way. That was an amazing read right there by AJ. And I don't know if anybody saw, but the other day playing BYU going up against Clemson, AJ scored or assisted on 34 of BYU's 40 points in the second half. So yeah, just looking back at this draft that we had, surprised that he fell to number 3. I get it, Darren Peterson, he's a gem. Cameron Boozer is definitely a gem, but still, AJ DeBansa falling to 3 is kind of crazy. Me personally, I would have picked him over Darren Peterson with all due respect, but I might have taken the Booze twin over AJ DeBansa. We got to see how the rest of this college season plays out, but this draft is going to be a loaded draft for sure, a highly touted draft. I'm not sure how, all these guys will play out once they hit the NBA, but I know right now, just purely as prospects, this draft might be one of the best draft classes in the past 20 years. And right now, we got a 1-point game with about 4 seconds left. Spurs, we have the ball, so, we're going to get fouled. out. All we got to do is make 2 of these free throws to put us at a 3-point game, so we should be good. Worst case scenario is they hit a 3-pointer and this game goes into overtime. Right now we got AJ Demancey. He's not a good free throw shooter, so let's see. He misses. He makes what? He misses the first one. So it's still a 1-point game, so not too bad. Spurs still have their timeout. That is what I'm a little bit nervous about. And AJ misses both of them, so only 1 second went off the clock right there. Really, really bad possession. But let's see if we can just play our cards right, get a defensive stop, and get out of here with the W. And one thing I miss about, the older 2Ks is when they had that, like the mini camps in the offseason. I think you had like two or four, one of them, I don't remember. But you had 2 or 4 camps that you could send your players to. Like it had 3-point shooting, mid-range shooting, inside shooting, perimeter defense, interior defense, athleticism, free throw shooting, so you can kind of guide their development. So I wish I could do that with AJ. And as you see, they hit a corner 3. Kuminga does not put a hand up, and it's just bad for us. So we end up losing down 1-2. We definitely need to get a dub in game 4 of this series. Cannot go back to San Antonio trailing 3-1. It looks like we're gonna end up walking away with the dub in game 4. So series is tied 2-2, headed back to San Antonio. It's a good thing we were able to shake off that buzzer beater in game 3. End up winning game 4. Let's see how game 5 plays out in San Antonio. Looks like we're down. Now it's going to be a back and forth game in the second half. They're up by 6. They're up by 7. Let's go ahead and jump into the game and see where we're at now. We're taking the ball out. 4 minutes left in the game. We're down by 7. And like I said, this is game 5. So if we get the loss, I'm not too pressed because we're going back to LA. But you definitely want to get the win right here just to send us back to LA with the dub. Because if we're coming to San Antonio game 7, I have no faith in us. If we're being honest, we're the 8th seed. I don't see us winning on the road in a game 7. See, Rosser turns the ball over. And just look at the size of Rosser compared to Trae Young. I get it. Trae Young is an undersized guard, but even then, Rosser compared to all the other guards, even though nowadays you got 6'5", 6'7" point guard, Rosser's fitting right in. He's still towering over those guys at 6'10" with a 7'5" wingspan. So he's an athletic. Another thing that they had in the offseason where you could send them to weight training, so they would gain like 5 pounds on their weight and stuff like that. Like I just wish they would bring that back, just so you could have more control on how the players develop. Like I get it, they're gonna develop how they want to develop on track, whatever. But I feel like as a GM of a franchise, you want to have full control of what you're having your players do. Like I get it, he might not be that type of player in real life, but on the game we might want him to become a Giannis type deal and then move him down to the 4 and just have more autonomy over what happens with your players. And after AJ Demancey makes that shot, his stats pop up at the bottom of the screen, and it looks like he has 31 points this game, so not too shabby of a game for AJ Demancey. And then just to tie it back onto that true shooting percentage, that 79 for Anthony that we saw last game, to take into perspective, Victor Wembanyama shooting a 77 true shooting percentage so far in the playoffs. So Anthony Simons is having one hell of a If they didn't call that block, if they didn't call that foul, man, that would have been a crazy block. But yeah, Anthony Simons has been having a hell of a playoff, so we honestly might just need to go ahead and extend Anthony Simons $9 million a year. Hopefully it goes a little bit lower once we hit the offseason, because he realizes he's on a decline. His age is above 30, so he doesn't have too many prime years left ahead of him. So hopefully we can get him, for a discount, and you're staying at home. You don't got to pack up all your stuff. You don't got to move, to a different city, man. You got to give us that hometown discount, Anthony. And we're still down with about 2 minutes, 30 seconds left in the game. Trae Young's bringing the ball up the court, guarded by Rosser. He can't do anything, so he's having to pass the ball. As soon as he gets past half court, and Rosser sags off on Trae Young. Luckily, he misses the shot. That's rare. Trae Young misses the shot. We got Demancey bringing the ball up the court, kicks it out to Kuminga on the wing, swings it back to Demancey, and he goes in for the layup and misses. Right now they're trying to push, but we got a lot of athletes on the court right now, so it's harder for them to get out in transition, especially after a miss, even after a make. So we've got that transition game sold up right now. And as we get a lob from Rosser to Kuminga. Kuminga has 21 points in the game, 14 in the paint. And honestly, that's somebody that we're probably going to have to move off of if we're just trying to get that, demigod stretch for. And we get a steal by the bench, so takes it in for the windmill. Crazy dunk right there. But, Kuminga, I hate to say it, but he's somebody that we're going to have to get off of if we're looking to bring in that demigod. Or if anything, we'd have to move Kuminga down to the 3, have him come off the bench. And, as you see right now with him in Golden State, he's not a fan of coming off the bench. So if anything, we just won't, re-sign him. Probably won't even try to get him anything on the trade market, because I believe this is Kuminga's last year in LA anyway. So just let him walk and then bring in that stretch for that demigod for, and then we can go from there. Just have Zubac pair with him in the paint. That'll be like the Twin Towers. It reminds me me of kind of like Andrew Bynum and Pau Gasol back in the Lakers heyday when they had two of those guys controlling the paint. And then nice three right there by Christie brings us down to a 2-point game with about a minute left. So definitely going to need to get a stop right here on the defensive end. Let's see if we can get that stop. You got Trae Young bringing the ball up the court for the Spurs right now. You got Wemby right to the right of him. Wemby's going down to the paint, and he just runs straight past Zubac. Like Zubac, I see he's hurt, but it's like Zubac has to be some type of force. Like he has to do something. Right now, right now we might as well just have Kuminga guarding Wemby. That's as much that Zubac's doing. Zubac's doing nothing right now. We get Cam Christie again for another 3-pointer. Have a day, Cam Christie. Have a day. But we got to have some type of force. Like Zubac has to slow him down, somewhat, be a force in the paint. Like Wemby can't just continue to run straight past you without having any repercussions or anything like that. 1-point game with 30 seconds left. We got Dylan Harper kicks it out to Trae Young. He misses the 3-pointer. Cam Christie gets the rebound. We're pushing it up the court now. Let's see where we want to go with this ball. Kicks it out, slow it down, give it to AJ. We had Rosser right there wide open on that cut. We could have hit him. Well, let's see. We running that famous pick and roll, and we break Wemby down again. So the Bansa has great vision. Finds Zubac in the paint, gets us up 1 with about 8 seconds left to go in the game. And that's, kind of what Zubac's becoming now later in his career. I think now he's above 30. So it honestly might be time to start shopping Zubac on the trade market as well. Try to bring in a younger. We got Irvin on the bench, so he's still getting developed by Zubac. So once he gets up to speed, we can, go ahead and move Zubac. And then we got Rosser shutting down Trae Young, and that's what we got him for. We got that 6'10" point guard, be able to get the W. So now we're up 3-2, headed back to LA. And then let's go ahead and jump into game 5 where it looks like we have the edge by a little bit now. Second half looks like the Spurs are trying to take over. It's a 1-point game, about 6 minutes left. Let's go ahead and jump in there. Let's get into some of this action. And it looks like we kind of shifted our focus from the Thunder to the Spurs, because it looks like the Spurs are going to be the number 1 team in the West, for years to come. They got Dylan Harper, they got Wemby, they got Stephon Castle, they got Devin Vassell. Like, they have a young core out there. So we're going to, we stopped the Thunder dynasty. We got some of their players to sign here even. And now it looks like our focus is going to need to kind of shift over to stopping the San Antonio Spurs with all this young talent they have. The Bansa takes a 3 and he misses it. Now Spurs are trying to push in transition. Let's see how we can stop them. And going back to that 3 that the Bansa just missed, like, that was a horrible shot. Like, he just ISO'd, did no moves, tried to break him down, called for no screens, and just did a 3. Tried to shoot it over him, and the Bansa's not a 3-point shooter. So that's going to be a L play every time. And as you see, the Spurs hit a 3 on their next transition, extending the lead up to 4 with about 5 minutes left in the game. But honestly, I think if we're able to win this series right here, whoever's winning this series is going to be the team that's going to come out of the West. And right now, the Spurs have Austin, Harper, Lopez, Castle, and Hampton on the floor, so no Wemby. So now would be the perfect time. Kicks it out to the corner to Rosser. He misses the 3, but now would be the perfect time like that. AJ DeBan's a great rebound. Zubac, I don't know why you're not in there getting that rebound. That's all you. You're the center. This is what you're for. You do not have Wemby in the paint stopping you. And I don't know, guys. I think Zubac might have already peaked, because if you think about, Clippers bigs over the past couple of years, great Clippers bigs, you had Zubac, you had DeAndre Jordan. He was an interior, kind of a similar player as Zubac. He didn't really have a long prime. And I think now Zubac is kind of hitting his prime window. So it might be honestly time for me to move on from Zubac this coming off season if we can't make it, at least to the conference finals. And right now we're getting to the point where I will even consider just a conference finals berth a W for this rebuild. Because you think about this franchise has only made it to 1 conference finals. That was in 2021, where they lost 4-2 to the Suns. That would later go on to lose to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then other than that, it's been pretty much first round and, conference semifinals exit. I know the last time that they had made it to the conference semis was when they had, that Blake Griffin, CP3, DeAndre Jordan, JJ Redick, Lob City era Clippers that could never quite get over the hump. That team was really poised. The team was supposed to be the team that could, actually carry them to a championship. There was a lot of talk. And then, you bring in Kawhi Leonard, you bring in a Paul George, and you kind of blow up your whole future for that. That's arguably one of the worst trades in NBA history, considering what the Clippers ended up giving up. They gave up SGA, they gave up a boatload of first-round picks, and we see the type of player that SGA has ended up becoming. So it's just like, what are the Clippers organization doing? Like, it's just a organization that's caught in the drift right now. And they always say mediocrity is where no team wants to be, just because you're not good enough to win a championship, but you're not bad enough to start a rebuild. If you're in the middle of mediocrity, you're stuck getting those lottery picks. In the NBA, you kind of have some good players that are coming out of the lottery, but you're mainly getting your star players in those top 5, top 10 draft picks. So anywhere from 10 to 20, you can find a gem in there, but it's a dime a dozen. So mediocrity, you're just stuck in that constant cycle unless you're in a big market like we are in LA. So hopefully if we do get stuck in, these play-in runs, these first round eliminations, we're able to bring in more stars like, the Clippers are known to do. But right now I am trying to get out of that. That's why we brought in AJ DeBanster. That's why we brought in CJ Rosser. Other than that, we do have some, key role players that we ended up bringing in. But our main focus for this offense is going to be those 2 homegrown talents that we have. And if you really think about it, mainly the main attraction for most cities are going to be, those talents that you drafted with, you've grown with, especially, smaller market teams in the NBA in general, unless you're like a LeBron James, a Kevin Durant. You see Kevin Durant, especially, trying to twist that narrative now. But even then, if you go back 10 years ago with KD, when he decided to go to the Golden State Warriors, he wasn't really truly accepted. They still were rocking with Curry. They were still rocking with Draymond. They were still rocking with Clay over him. And that in part is why why KD probably ended up departing from them, just because he saw that rip. He saw that he would never be an actual part of the big three. He would always be an outsider looking in. Thing with Draymond that they had on the bench when they played the Clippers actually is kind of what, set him over the edge. You're always going to have that outsider feeling. The only player that I truly believe get that actual grace, the same as the player that was drafted there, is like a LeBron James, a Luka Doncic, somebody that didn't leave in free agency, but their hand was forced when they got traded. And I know people are going to be in the comments, oh, LeBron never get traded. He always left the free agency, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, LeBron left in free agency. LeBron left in free agency the first time he left Cleveland. His hand was played. Like, we all know his hand was played. Ownership wasn't bringing in anybody. So he's like, okay, cool. I don't want to bring anybody for me to play with, so I can't win my first ring. I'm going to go to Miami. I'm going to win my first ring, and show y'all like what can actually happen if we get a team around me. And he comes back, wins the chip. Like, see, this is what happens, Cleveland. This is for you. That's where you get that iconic moment right there. And the rest is history after that. Ends up leaving. Now he's been in LA for the past 8 seasons, and I feel like now LeBron is off the basketball tip. He's more so focused about family, more so about Bronny, about Bryce, his youngest daughter, and then his wife. So he's all about family now. He's already done what he needs to do in the NBA. And that's what always blows me. You still got people that are trying to say that LeBron somehow is not in the GOAT conversation, although he leads the NBA in total points. He's 10,000 rebounds, 10,000 assists, however many steals he has. Like, LeBron is a leader in almost, and not a leader, but he's top 20 in almost every statistical category ever in the history of basketball. And we still got people that are trying to debunk him, decredit his whole history. Like, even me, I was a Kobe fan growing up, so it took me the longest. I hated LeBron when he went to Miami, and then I had to realize, like, LeBron, it got to a certain point when LeBron came to LA, I was still a little bit skeptical. But then when he won that ring, and then when he hit that fadeaway jumper against the Thunder to break Kareem's record for the most points in NBA history, I just had to sit back and be like, wow, this guy is actually better than Kobe. This guy actually might be the best player to ever touch an NBA hardwood court ever. And just me personally, in my eyes, it's definitely not a debate. I'm taking LeBron over Jordan 10 days out of the week. And as you know, I'm talking over this gameplay audio just because it's not too much that's really going on. We're down 7, about 40 seconds left in the game. Wimpy just had that dunk to kind of finish us off. So it looks like we're going to go back to San Antonio in a Game 7 series. So we'll have to try our luck over there. And I'm going to go ahead and fast forward sim the rest of this game because it's not really too much. Now we're down 10 with about 30 seconds left. But yeah, going Game 7 in San Antonio. We'll see how it goes. Definitely going to have all our ducks in a row. And if we get eliminated again in the first round, major moves are going to need to be made. Would you jump in? As we see, wow, we're already down by 30 points going into the fourth quarter. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go down in Game 7. A good series nonetheless. We took the number 1 seed to 7 games. We had some good areas. We had some bad areas. And then the number 1 seed gets swept by the Warriors in the next round. We got Nikola Jokic winning Western Conference Finals MVP, Jalen Johnson winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, then the Hawks defeating the Warriors to win the championship Jalen Johnson Finals MVP. 2 key retirees this offseason. We got Anthony Davis and Pascal Siakam. Pascal was on the Warriors. Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid was on the Celtics. But we're going to decline Pascal just because he has about $10 million still left on his contract. Like I always say, nobody's going to leave free money on the table. We got Anthony Davis and Joel Embiid both making it to the Hall of Fame and both getting their numbers retired. Jazz, Thunder, and Heat have the top 3 picks in the draft, and it's crazy. Even in the simulation, the Thunder are still wreaking havoc with all these picks. And we don't really have a favorable pick this year. We have the 18th pick, so I'm going to go ahead and simulate our pick. And then we got Irving and Rosser extending qualifying offers to offer them. They wanted to decline Josh Irving for some reason. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. He's only $4.6 million. Like I said, he's our backup. He's our protege to Zubac, who is getting a little bit older. Let's go ahead and jump to free agency. We got AJ DeBansa, now a 92 overall, 23 years old. We're going to go ahead and give him that 5-year max extension. Max extension as far as the length of the contract. Then we jump back into free agency. We still have Jokic available. So let's try to get Jokic in. He could be our, demigod 4 position. And then we just keep Zubac at the 5 and just move Jokic down to the 4. Now we're going to put him on a team option for the second year just because he is up in age right now. He's 35. He's a little bit on the bigger side, 6'11", 284. I'm not sure how his body's going to hold up. So I'm going to use the first year as a test run. And if we like him, then we'll bring him back for year 2. But in order to get Jokic, we got to let go of Kuminga. We got to let go of Simons. We got to let go of Poole. So 3 of our, core pieces. Poole was a 6-man. And Fernie was that veteran point guard that we had. And Kuminga, it was time to kind of let him go because, like I said, he wasn't really progressing anymore. And now that we have Jokic, we can have him fill into that power forward starting spot. So it's not like we're really taking a step back or anything. And as we take a look at our lineup for this season, we got Rosser, Christie, Diggs, DeBansa, Hunter, Hamilton, G.G. Jackson, Jokic, Zubac, and Irving. So we have a log jam at the center position. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to go ahead and move some of these pieces around just so I can make sure the players that I want are getting the playing time that they should be getting. And player regression for this season, we got DeBansa going up to a 93 overall, Jokic at a 91, Rosser at an 88, Christie 83, GG 81, Zubac went down to a 79, so he is regressing. Hopefully we can speed up Irving's progression this year. We'll put Irving in the mentorship program with Jokic. And finally this year we cracked the top 10 in preseason power rankings. Right now we're at a 7. Just taking a look at Luka Doncic's Kings, they're down there at the bottom of the pack. And then the Lakers made a big splash this offseason, bringing in Ja Morant. And what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to go ahead and limit our rotation down to an 8-man rotation. That way, just so our stars can get a lot more minutes and get the numbers that they should be putting up. And as you see, Jokic's stats last season, 24 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. And it looks like Christie is tired of us taking advantage of him. He is refusing to sign with us. Anyways, his numbers went up. Zubac wants a minimum deal. I mean, it's kind of fine. Right now, he's in year 15. He's only 33 years old, so we'll have to revisit that once the offseason comes because I'm definitely not comfortable right now offering him, it's a minimum, so it's a low risk, but I just want to see how him and Jokic end up playing out this season before I make any moves concerning both of the bigs. And as we jump ahead to the middle of the season, we see Jokic is averaging 25, 9, and 9, so he's fitting in Los Angeles perfectly. You got Irvin finally starting to get some minutes. He's averaging about 4 points, 5 rebounds a game. And right now, everybody's happy. Although Cam Christie wants out, he's hurt right now, so he's away from the team. But other than that, the morale of the team is happy. Everybody's up. Right now, we have 390 overall players, so now we did end up forming a big 3 with Jokic, DeBansa, and Rosser. Cooper Flat taking home MVP, 33, 9, and 7. Great stats from him, 2 steals as well. Cade Cunningham winning 6-man of the year. That's concerning. I'm not sure why he's coming off the bench, but I actually did some deep diving and I found out that Pistons ended up getting Dylan Harper from the Spurs. So they started Dylan Harper and Cade Cunningham was coming off the bench. But hey, I'm not mad with it. They like it. I love it. Cooper Flag wins Clutch Player of the Year. Franz Wagner wins NBA Cup MVP. Executive of the Year goes to the Hawks again. I'm not sure what they're cooking up, but ever since they lost Trae Young, they've been going bananas. First team All NBA, we got Cooper Flag, AJ DeBancha, Jokic, Wemby, and Doncic. So no surprise there. Jokic finishes up 25, 9, 10, 2 steals, 1 block, shooting 51% from the field. Second team All NBA, we ended up having SGA, CJ Rosser, Andre Sarr, Alexander Sarr, Evan Mobley, and Tyron Stokes. Great season for all of our big 3. Really, all of our big 3 made first or second All Team NBA. I'm not sure if that's ever happened before. And just doing a deep dive on DeBansa stats. This year he averaged 27, 8, and 8, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He shot 59% from the field, 45% from 3, with a measly 68% from the free throw line. So definitely not a bad season for him. Only area that I really can see him improving in right now probably be his free throws. Like his free throws are going to be the death of us. Like we saw in, I believe, his second year, he ended up missing both his free throws while at the line. San Antonio ended up hitting that 3 in the corner to send us home. So he's definitely got to work on his free throws. And as we take a look at CJ roster stats, our second team All NBA player this season. This year he averaged 22 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, 1.5 steals. I mean, the assist was 9.7, but I rounded up to 10 just because. But so technically he didn't average a triple double in his third season. But 22, 10, 10, 2, 1 block. He shot 54% from the field, 32% from the 3-pointer, and 86% from the free throw stripe. But yeah, we ended up finishing this season as the third seed in the Western Conference. So we'll be taking on the 6th seeded Los Angeles Lakers in the first round. I know New York has the Subway Series whenever the Mets and the Yankees play. So I don't know what it would be called in LA. LA has to have something. I just don't know the name of it. But let me know in the comments what it's called. But whenever the Clippers and the Lakers meet in the playoffs. And like we learned from last season, the Lakers did go out and get Ja Morant. So although they are the 6th seed, it's not going to be an easy cakewalk in the park. And it does look like they have Darius Garland as well. So not sure what they're trying to do. So this looks like it might be I don't want to say an easy walk, but it might be a favorable matchup for us just because they have two smaller guards when, our whole scheme is built around having these bigger, more versatile wing players. And as we get Diggs to hit a 3 right there, nice pass going up 2 points, 114 to 116 with about 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the game. Let's see if we can take this dub, win the series, and then go on to the second round where our opponent will be waiting on us. And I didn't touch on it, but we got Jokic on the team. So a little bit of history. So in this simulation, he did end up passing Russell Westbrook for the most triple doubles in NBA history. I believe right now he's sitting at 306. Russell Westbrook ended his career at 203. Then we got Luka Doncic. He's pushing top 5 now. He's still behind Magic. Luka is above LeBron though. He's at 128. LeBron ended up retiring with 125 triple doubles. And then we have CJ Rosser at 65 total career triple doubles, while AJ DeBansa is sitting at 33 career triple doubles. And then if you look at all-time career points, we got LeBron, of course, number 1 overall, 44.9 thousand points. Kevin Durant moved into 4th before he retired with 35.1 thousand. Giannis right now, he's sitting at number 7. He just passed Dirk Nowitzki. He's sitting at 31.7 thousand. James Harden just cracked into the top 10. Right now, he's at 31.2 thousand. Devin Booker, 30.1 thousand. Stephen Curry, 29.3 thousand. Nikola Jokic at 29.3 thousand as well. And then we have Russell Westbrook at 28.7 thousand. And then, of course, Shaquille O'Neal at 28.5 thousand. So officially that did knock Carmelo Anthony out of the top 15 all time for scoring. And let's jump into the top 15 for all time 3-pointers made. We got Curry finishing out his career at 4.7 thousand. James Harden right behind him at 3.6 thousand. Luka Doncic is right on James Harden's trail right now. And as you know, James Harden already retired. Luka's still playing. Luka right now sitting at 3.3 thousand. Damian Lillard retired with 3.2 thousand. Donovan Mitchell sitting at number 5 at about 3,000 flat. All 5 of these guys ended up passing Ray Allen. Ray Allen finished his career at 2.9 thousand. We got Trae Young, number 7, at 2.8 thousand. Klay Thompson, 2.8 thousand as well. Number 9, we got LeBron James, 2.7, followed by Paul George, 2.7, Jason Tatum, 2.7, Kyrie Irving, 2.6, Devin Booker, 2.6, KD, 2.6, and then Anthony Edwards rounding out the top 15 at 2.5 thousand career 3-pointers made. Also, just want to throw this out there. Side note, for rebounds, Jokic and Giannis both ended up passing Shaquille O'Neal. Jokic right now sitting at 13.6 thousand, Giannis at 13.1 thousand, while Shaquille O'Neal's at 13,000 flat. And as we jump back into the game right now, we are down 2. Carter Bryant, the Arizona product, just hit a layup on us. About 50 seconds left to go in the game, but definitely interested to see how this will play out. First round series, game 5 at home in front of the home crowds. Everybody's wearing that sea of red. Let's see what AJ DeBansa can do with the ball in his hand right now. He's trying to drive past Carter Bryant. We get to switch. Looks like a favorable matchup. We're trying to drive to the baseline, but he's taking us back. He took us back to the middle of the floor. We just give it back up to Rosser. Jokic sets the screen. Jokic is wide open. Oh, Rosser had a wide open layup, but he passed it up. That's tough. Definitely going to need to stop right here on defense. Got about a 4-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Right now we got DeBansa on Morant. Morant brings it back up to the key. Looks like he's not trying to run a play right now, just interested in winding the clock down. Let's see if we can get a stop right here on defense. Try to get the ball back after calling the timeout, but no. Ja Morant gets that and 1 over AJ DeBansa. So it looks like the Lakers are going to take game 5. So we're going back to Staples Center. Hopefully we should be able to get a win there. Like I said, this is a 6-seeded team. We got the big 3, probably one of the best big 3s in basketball right now. Let's go ahead and sim sim the game to see how it's looking. So far, it's a pretty close game. Now we're starting to pull away in the fourth quarter. It looks like we'll walk away from this series with the W and head back to the second round of the playoffs. Second round of the playoffs is here, but of course not before we have bad news. We got AJ Debinsa going down with a pulled lower back muscle. And let's take a look at the stats from the first round. AJ Debinsa 31, 8-8. Jokic 18, 8-9. Rosser 19, 10, and 13 with 2 steals, shot 50%. All three of those guys shot 50% from the field. So great first round series against the Lakers. And then we also had Diggs and GG Jackson having great series as well. We had Diggs average 18 points, 4 assists. He shot about 65% from the field. And then we had GG Jackson. He averaged 14 points and 5 rebounds to go along with 50% shooting from the field as well. And we lost game 1 to the Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards and company. And it looks like we're going to lose game 2 to the Timberwolves as well. So we're going to be down in an 0-2 hole. We're able to win game 3, so now it's 2-1. Let's see what we can do right here. It's a good game, close game right here. We're up. It's going to be a close game. We might have to jump into this one. Now we're pulling away a little bit. It's a double-digit game with about 3 minutes left. So yeah, we'll walk away with 1. It's getting closer and closer. Now it's a 1-point game. Let's see. And then Minnesota Timberwolves end up winning the game. Wow, they probably hit a buzzer beater. Definitely probably should have jumped into that game right there. And there was a big game for us. Now we're down 3-1. Really, honestly, probably no chance of a comeback right here. Minnesota's had a lead all game. Looks like we're going to go. We take the lead with 5 minutes left. So we might win this game. We might go up 3-2. We might still be down 3-2. But I don't know where to go from here, man. If we lose in the second round, it's going to be tough. We progressed from last season. We were the 8th seed last year. This season, we were the 3 seed. But it's still like we're not making any progress in the playoffs. The whole goal for this series is to make it to the playoffs, and we're not doing that. I mean, not make it to the playoffs, but make it to the Western Conference Finals, and we just haven't been able to do that so far. And another big game 7 this year. Remember last year we had game 7, and the first round ended up losing to the Lakers. This year, game 7, it looks like we actually might walk away with the dub. So we came back from down 3-1, and we're gonna beat the Minnesota Timberwolves to advance to our first conference finals during this rebuild. And let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for that series. That series, we had AJ Debinsa averaged 28, 8, and 7. Jokic averaged 26, 10, and 7. Rosser averaged 24, 12, and 10. Followed by Diggs and GG Jackson again. But wow, Rosser is just going crazy. This guy is a triple-double machine. And let's get into the nitty-gritty field goal percentage of that series. We had Debinsa. He shot about 45% from the, we had Rosser shoot about 45% from the floor. Debinsa, he came back. Remember, he had that injury at the beginning of at the end of last round. He only played 2 games this series. He shot 51% from the floor. And then Jokic, he played in all 7 games. He shot about 48% from the field, followed by Diggs shooting 48% as well. And then GG Jackson shooting 46% from the field. So kind of a bad shooting series for us across the board. Like nobody really shot above, none of our main players shot above 50% except for AJ Debinsa. But remember, he only played in 2 games. And as we take a look at the Golden State lineup as our opponent for the Western Conference Finals, looks like they have Victor Wembanyama, Zion Williamson, Socken, Hoya Pete, AJ Mitchell, Pascal Siakam. Remember, he tried to retire last season, but we brought him back for another year. Who do know is their power forward. He's 23, 83 overall. And then S. Singu is their backup power forward. It looks like he's 24 and 80 overall. And let's go ahead and jump into game 1. Right now we got a tie game, 110 to 110 with about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game. We are, of course, at home because we are the better seed. Let's see if we can get Irvin more involved in the post right now. Kick it to him. Picks up his dribble. Let's kick it back out to the bench. He's trying to drive. He does a little step back. Nice step back jumper. Goes in. Money up 110 to 112 with about 2 minutes left in the game. And that's something that I really don't see from Debinsa. I really always trying to see him drive, and the drives failed because for some reason, whatever reason, the CPU defense on this game is amazing. Like they play crazy. Like you cannot drive past the CPU. So he's always trying to drive. He's always getting his drive stuffed, even though he's a 93 overall. Like it's no fun in watching this. Like he's a 93 overall. I expect him to do whatever, like a Anthony Edwards does whenever I watch him on the TV, but he doesn't. Like he's driving. He's getting stopped every single time. Like 2K has to fix that. If they're a 93 overall, they need to play like a 93 overall. Like a 80 overall player shouldn't be stopping a 90 overall player every single time down the court. But I'm very interested to see how this plays out, especially with Wemby. Nice block right there by Debinsa as we push in transition. But I'm excited to see how this plays out between Wemby, Jokic, and Zubac down in the paint. And we also got Zion to worry about as well. Zion is very, very strong in the paint. So right now it looks like they're running Zion at the 3. So Jokic doesn't have to worry about guarding him. But I am just kind of worried about Jokic trying to keep up with a power forward with that speed. He has that speed and that strength to blow right past him. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But every time that every time that Jokic is in the paint, I expect the double team to come from Jokic, especially if he is guarding Zion Williamson, because he doesn't need to be anywhere near Zion while he's on the perimeter. He can't shoot. Like right now, it's no reason for Roster to be this up close on Zion while he's in the mid-range game. Like I'll live with that mid-range game all day. He needs to come in and help Zubac when Wemby is going over. Wemby is backing him down in the post like that. One thing I forgot to look at when I was looking at the all-time stats was blocks. So right now for blocks, Wemby is already at 1.8 thousand blocks. Just to put that in perspective, he already has more blocks than Serge Ibaka, more blocks than DeAndre Jordan. He has more blocks than Tyson Chandler, Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Andre Drummond, Dirk Nowitzki, and the list just goes on. But Wemby is just going insane with these 3 to 5 blocks he's averaging per game every year. Brosher throws it down on the assist from the Bansa. We're going to go ahead and fast forward the last 30 seconds of this game. We're up 6. The Bansa just got fouled. Honestly, with the way he shoots free throws, he might miss one or both of them. He makes one, he makes the second one. So we're up 8, and they hit a 3, but it's still not going to make much of a difference. They're just going to keep fouling. We're just going to keep making our free throws. So 13 to 18, he missed both of the free he missed both of the free throws. That's crazy. Like what is going on? We just missed 3 free throws in a row. Like this, we got to get back to the fundamentals. Another fun fact as well, involving 40-point games, NBA career records. We got Wilt Chamberlain with 271 40-point games, just leading the whole NBA. Michael Jordan 173, followed by Kobe Bryant 122. Then we have James Harden at 108, Anthony Edwards at 101, Cade Cunningham 92, Luka Doncic 90, D Book 89, Steph Curry 88, Elgin Baylor 88, and LeBron James rounding out our top 10 with 80 career 40-point games, followed by SGA at 79. We got a close game here too. Looks like Warriors are going to take that one. Going to go ahead and jump into game 3. Looks like we're going to have to lead the entire game. Looks like, and we are going to take this game as well. It looks like we are going to go up 3-1. And now this is a back and forth game right here. This is a pretty good game. This one is in the Bay Area in Golden State. We're going to take that game as well. So now it looks like we might actually win this series, and we might make it to our first NBA Finals. So bringing in that Demigod 4 might have done a lot. That Demigod 4 might have been the move for us. And this is a complete blowout of a game. So what I'll do, I'll go ahead and sim down to the last minute of the game. Let's go ahead and jump in here for this final minute, just so we can see the celebration for our Western Conference Final Championship run. And right now we're up by 19 points, 31-10. They score, cut the lead down a little bit. We still got about a minute left in the game. Everybody's tired. Zubac's tired. I don't know why the starters are still in the game right now. Like, there's no reason for our starters to be in the game. And their starters, of course, I get it. It's the last game of the season for them. But our starters, no. Like, what if somebody gets hurt? Then we go down. Then we're just out of luck for the finals. But as you see, your Los Angeles Clippers are the Western Conference Finals champions for the 2031 season. And this right here is really, really big for the franchise. This is the first time that the Clippers are going to be going to the NBA Finals. They had that Lob City team. They had that team with Kawhi and PG. None of those teams have been able to take this organization to where we're taking it now. Like, none of these teams have been able to hold up this trophy that we're holding up now. Like, this team has done things that this team is taking this franchise to places that it's never been before. And as you see, AJ DeBansta is gonna get Western Conference Finals MVP. It's a really great series all in all. Hopefully us making it to the NBA Finals. As you see, we got Cam Christie right there on the left side. Hopefully that'll be enough to kind of convince Cam Christie to stay, because I know at the beginning of the season he was disgruntled. So hopefully some of that changes now that he sees, once he's actually bought in, this team has championship aspiration and it has championship potential. And as we go ahead and take a look at the stats from that conference final series, we had AJ DeBansa averaged 32 points, 8 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks on 63% shooting from the field. CJ Rosser averaged 26 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and about 65% shooting from the field, followed by Jokic averaging 26, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, shooting about 50% from the field. Then we had Gigi Jackson following that up with 13 and 5, Diggs with 11 and 4. So great series overall stat-wise for the Big Three, and then our 2 supporting cast members. It looks like we're going to take game 1 against the Magic. We don't have anybody injured, but the Magic do have Paolo Banchero with a dislocated right patella, so he's going to be out for the season. But like they always say, the Magic play better when they're either missing Paolo or they're missing Franz. Like, they play better when one of them's out. So one of them's out, so I'm not going to take him too lightly. They got Kinston Knuppel, Kai Knuppel's little brother. That's crazy. And Keldon Johnson as well. Looks like he's hurt, but he should be coming back sometime this series as well. But they always say the Magic play better when one of them's out. So although they are missing one of their stars, I'm still not going to discredit them. It's not going to be a light series. We're still going to need to go, 110%. That's why before the series even started, I went ahead and upped all our starters' minutes. So now our stars are playing around 40 minutes. So I want them to have a bulk of the action now, especially now that we're in the finals. And this is for all the marbles right here. We'll go ahead and jump into game 2. Looks like the Magic are going to take this one. Series is going to be tied 1-1. Jumping into game 3 now. Looks like we're out to an early lead. It's just about 15 points. Now it's expanding up to 30-point lead now. So this one should be easily taken care of. Now we're in game 4 of this NBA Finals series. The Magic look like they've had the lead for most of the game. It's a 4-point game going up to 10, 12-point game with about a minute left. Let's go ahead and jump in now and get a piece of this action just in case we do end up pulling away right here. So right now it's game 5. We're up by double digits. So it looks like this game is in hand. It just sucks that it's in Orlando. I really, really wish that this game would have been in Los Angeles, man. I wish we could have swept these guys just so we could have celebrated with the home fans. Maybe they could have even rushed the court because this is the first NBA championship in the history of the Los Angeles Clippers. So this is a really, really big moment for everybody involved. Jokic came in, did his thing year 1, had CJ Rosser, had AJ DeMansa all doing their thing as well. CJ had a phenomenal year this year, stepped up really, really nicely, being that 7'5" wingspan, running the point guard position. He did everything and more that we needed. He took that leap. Jokic came in, was that veteran presence on the offensive and defensive end. We still had Zubac there. He's still training up Irving. Hopefully next year, maybe not next year because, we're still going to be on that championship high. Maybe the year after that, if we're not able to repeat next year, Irving can step in and become the starter and just fill, the shoes that Zubac had. I get it. It's going to be big shoes to fill, but I feel like he'll be up to that challenge, especially being that Zubac has been, his mentor since he came into the league. Just do what Zubac's been doing and we'll be fine. We don't need you to come in and try to score 20 points per game, average 10 rebounds per game, 5 blocks. We don't need you to do that. All we need you to do is just be a force in the paint, especially now that we have Jokic. We have, somebody that can score. We got 3 people that can score at will, and then they're more than willing passers. Like, all of them will find the ball. All of them are averaging at least 8 assists per game. Like, we're the number one team in the NBA in assists per game. So they'll find you. All you have to do is just be a presence and be a force on the defensive end down low. And there you go. Your Los Angeles Clippers are your 2031 NBA champions. It's been a long road coming, And hey, look, we still had DeAndre Hunter buried somewhere off in that bench. Still got Hamilton right there, our young, talented, defensive-minded wing player. Wow, and the Magic had Mitchell Robinson on that squiddy. They had a squad out there in Orlando this year. If only they could have been healthy, man. If they had Paulo, that would have been a crazy series to see Paulo go up against Jokic. But yeah, man, this is what we did it for, man. This was the rebuild, Every time you do a rebuild, you don't always win the championship. It's not always guaranteed that you'll win a championship. Sometimes you have failed rebuilds. Sometimes you have Sometimes you have rebuilds where you'll end up becoming a dynasty. Sometimes you have rebuilds where you win one championship. Right now, all the work that it took to get to this point, I'm satisfied with the one championship for now. I don't think this is a squad that we can, pull off a dynasty with, just because I see the main piece of this is older. He's on the back end of his career. He's 35 years old. And we just had, complementary pieces. We had an AJ DeMansa. We had a CJ Rosser there. And I get it. AJ DeMansa won Western Conference Finals MVP. But the heart and soul of this team, man, and he looks like he's going to take home Finals MVP as well. But we know the heart and soul of this team was Jokic. Once he came here, he set the tone, set that championship mindset throughout the guys, and, it kind of carried. Maybe a couple years down the line from now, when DeMansa and Rosser are, in their late 20s, then they might be able to start a dynasty if they're still here. If they don't part ways because of one wants their own team, whatever. If they're still here, then we could think about a dynasty. But this young team right now, the way it's built, and then you have Zubac on his last leg, just honestly speaking, it's not built for a dynasty right now. And taking a look at the stats from this game, we had DeMansa 32, 7, and 11. Jokic 18, 8, 3, 4 steals. Christie 17 points, 3 rebounds. Rosser 15 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals. And DeMansa is going to walk home with Finals MVP. He averaged 30 points in that final, so an amazing finals from him. And then players retired. We got Kyrie Irving hanging it up, Andrew Wiggins hanging it up. Somehow Ben Simmons stuck around and was able to make a 12-year career, even though he had all of those back injuries and mishaps. I'm glad to see Kyrie Kyrie was able to rekindle his relationship with that Boston Celtics organization. Jakob Poeltl's going out as well. Dylan Brooks as well. But yeah, family, that's pretty much all I got for this Clippers rebuild. I'll catch you on the next time. If you want it longer, just drop it down in the comments. Let me know if you want me to go some more years, just so we can get AJ DeBanson and Cam Ross. The CJ roster into their prime. But that's all I got. We got Jokic. He's about to be on the recline. 36 years old now. You know, we got him 2 chips before he's able to get up out of here. So Clippers rebuild, we definitely did our job. But like I said, if you wanted to go longer, just drop it down in the comments. But I'm out. Peace.
This ain't the life I want no more. I gotta grind for better. And while you hating on me, dog, we can shine together.